Oh, we are live, people. We are live. Got a very special guest for everybody today. Got a very special guest. He's an Iraqi war vet. Very exciting. But now he owns a comedy club in the Metaverse. Kind of like I have an ashram in the I have a digital ashram. He has a digital comedy ashram, you could say, called Raw Dog Comedy Club. And he is here, and he was also in the Iraq war. So I do have, and he talks about it on the show that I did. And by the way, I did his show in the Metaverse, won $100. Bing bang, God is great. Bing bang, God is great. A bunch of people kind of left after my set, though, so that kind of helped. It was a banger set, but then a bunch of people left, and there wasn't as many votes for them. So I got top votes, and then a couple people left. But I'd say it was a set of the night. I'd say I'm going to give myself set of the night on that one. And that's not me trying to be competitive or whatever and attacking the other people. But yeah, no, we do comedy in the Metaverse. It's so sad. I keep saying this in the thing because Mark Zuckerberg is like going to lose all his money that he ever made doing Facebook. And he's going to lose it in this Metaverse so that 20, 30 of us, we go in, we do comedy. I mean, it's not a lot. But like I said, we got this guy who owns a club in there. So I'm going to bring him on in a second. And then, of course, we have John Paul Pantoja, our editor. He's going to be here. And we got some banger topics today. First of all, we got to do breaking news. Trump is back on Twitter. People, this is very, very wild for the culture. We got to talk about the implications. What does it mean? What the hell is going on? Urane's, a lot of people here in the congregation, too. Jaxie is here. It says 07. Urana Brew is here. SEO and digital marketing. Very good. Slick move. How's that for some SEO and digital marketing? He just makes his name. Wow, it's like all the people that it's like those porn sites that are like XXX get sexy girls, and then it'll say their thing. They don't waste the title. They don't just say something industries. They just get right into it. XXX, this website. That's good. No, I don't know why I'm comparing you to that. That's Urane. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming, baby. It says yo finally caught alive. Sup dog. I too am a vet. Was in Afghanistan, by the way. USMC vet here. What? Urane, you're a war vet too, dude? This is very powerful. Man, I always want to ask people because I talk a lot of smack about military stuff, and it's good to have someone who was in the game, in the thing, come in and either say, hey, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, or come in and say, hey, God is great. You're right. And I think I have the Raw Dog Comedy Club website. But before you know what? I'm going to pull it up, but I'm going to let him introduce himself too. Let's bring him on. Let's bring him on the stream. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
What's up, guys?
What's up? Welcome to the service, brother.
Hell yeah,
and
man.
Thank you for your
service. Having me on. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Thanks, dude. I won $100 at your comedy club in the Metaverse. That's actually very cutting edge of us to be in the Metaverse and doing this banger stuff. So yeah, tell people your story a little bit, what you're doing in there.
So let's see. I don't know. Where should I start out at? I guess. Where should I go?
Can we? What's your YouTube channel called?
It's called Raw Dog DAWG Comedy Club, and that
on
should
YouTube.
Bring that right up for you on YouTube if you type that in. We don't have a lot of videos up yet, but I'm going to start putting up some more. Just kind of putting into the space so we already have the name there, and then we can utilize it maybe more. I mean, I got a Twitch setup too, but we don't use that at all, so not even going to promote it.
Dude, I can't believe that Mark Zuckerberg is going broke over this. And I actually, sorry, you know what? I'm being rude. I actually also wanted to bring in the Drip editor, John Paul Pantoja. If you guys are watching the YouTube Drip channel and you're seeing these banger clips, the 1 minute clips are ripping, and then everyone's saying, dude, everyone's loving the editing, by the way. So thank you. I wanted to bring him into the stream. Did want to talk about some of these early topics. John Paul's going to be here for the first 30 minutes. I have, like I said, 3-4 topics, but we'll get into it. But sorry, back to Joshua. This is your comedy club, dude.
That's my comedy club.
In the Metaverse.
Looks pretty nice. Pretty good build by Quentin 214. Or Cupid 214.
You know, that's another thing. Like, guys will do that.
Dude, we are so cutting edge. We just go in here and we do comedy.
Oh yeah, I got it scripted very well. I got the gun that I can shoot people on the roof with, and can the roof slats.
I really like that, dude. I like that you have that. So one of the great things is there some videos of it.
I think if you go into the actual the page there. There should be something about. No, it's not the Dane Cook. It should be Rowdy. Something
Wait,
Rowdy.
Rada, this is it, right? Rada.
Yeah.
Man, all right, let me subscribe.
Yeah,
this isn't okay. Cool.
It's Rowdy. That one right there. It shows me using the horny horn. And
Rowdy. Okay, crowd gets rowdy. This,
right,
dude. This is a great system.
Like with the horn, and it stopped the entire crowd. They were like,
But you know what I love, dude? And then John, this guy has a gun. So I'm doing comedy in there.
Oh, you'll see it. It comes out. Watch.
He's walking around. He's got the gun on the. He's just walking around with the gun. He's like, hey, shut up. No talking. You have to make some people not talk.
Yeah, I got it in my hand right there, like pointing it at somebody, and I put watch. You might see the bullet come out of the gun and just take somebody out in the crowd, but it gets even better at the end here. It's really funny.
Wow, dude. 100,000 of us are doing. Dude, Zuckerberg's gonna go broke for this. This is amazing. Dude. This is great. We're gonna completely drain him.
I'm only mad because like I'm doing something in the metaverse, but I'm not mad that he's losing all his money.
I know. But you know what? Everyone says he's so evil. It's like better he's doing this because this is an artistic, creative project. No matter what people say, people are talking a lot of shit. But oh my god, that's so funny.
And then this girl comes out and goes, "No one cares. No one cares."
Wait, let me put the volume on. Let me put the volume on.
Oh, it's an event. This ain't no regular room.
He's trying to get.
I know a lot of
I've warned the crowd.
Motherfucking disrespectful shit going on.
Dude, this is so like there's a black comedy show in Toronto, and it's like a hard black comedy show. It's called the Nubian Night. Dude, they just roast people while they're on stage.
I used to do Nate Jackson's comedy show before it was the Comedy Club out on Tacoma there. Yeah, and I love doing those crowds. Like,
dude,
a lot of white people were intimidated. Like, it's an all black crowd. I'd be like, put me up there. I got some stuff to say.
I know, dude. I remember my buddy did a set there, and the people in the front at the red table, and they're like, "This guy's not that good," and they just walked out, but full volume.
Oh yeah,
they're like, "This guy's not that good," and they just walked.
Man. See, I always tell people like white crowds, I don't like them because if you do a bad joke, it's just silence. With like a black crowd, they'll say something, then I can work with it, recover. Wow. But then if it's just silence, I just gotta like move on. So like, so that was awful.
Yeah. CB Applejack says this is in Meta, like Zuckerberg's metaverse. Yeah, this is it, dude. This is it.
Oh, fuck. Jesus Christ.
Raised y'all. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
All right, who's going up? Why does nobody want to go up?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you guys are all disrespecting on his name.
Hey,
you need to stop it.
Hey, you will all get to Jesus.
This guy's pointing a gun at the crowd right now.
Yeah, I shot that guy up onto the roof. I don't have it's on the TikTok. I have like a video where it's pointed up where you can see him falling. Yeah. But still, this woman, right, or it was a girl. This little girl came up, and we don't have kids in the club, so she was going on top anyways. But like, I'm just going off on the crowd, like, guys, like, chill out. And she runs up, and she's like, "No one cares. No one cares." Oh, just walk.
And keep fucking talking, and you go on the fucking roof. You understand? I'm gonna get some fucking order back in this motherfucking house. Real quick, all right, everyone, chill the fuck out, sit and enjoy the comedy. That's what we're here for. This ain't the fucking Soapstone.
Let's get some laughs going.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, and you shot her. And that's it. You just capped her.
Oh yeah, and like I said, it always gets a laugh. It's always
nobody cares.
Yeah, no one cares. Bye onto the roof.
Yeah,
and I feel like it's coming back to haunt us. As many people as I put on that roof, we got a big ghost problem right now.
Yeah. So basically, when you shoot people in the metaverse, they're like, if you look up, you can see them falling over and over again on the roof.
They either have to be really fast with their controllers, or they have to completely quit the Horizon app.
Oh my God, you couldn't see me this week. So I did the show, I think yesterday, right? So yesterday,
I got a picture of you ghosting out.
Amazing. So yesterday, but this week, this whole metaverse is so buggy. The Unknown Comedy Club, which is the other comedy club that I do my meditation show at, that comedy club closed all their shows this week. And then dude, I came in yesterday to do a show, and it usually works pretty good. I was surprised, and I was like, I am doing comedy, Like I'm here, I'm trying out jokes. This is working. And then that night I won $100 last time I did it with you. So
right,
like,
we do money competitions. So usually what we do with the club is we do a once a month monthly showcase where I bring comics in from the real world, you know.
yeah.
And I do 3 people. I do a guest spot. I do a feature, and I do a headliner, and everyone gets paid, even the guest spot. I host it. And then I have the crowd come in. It's a free show, like everything in the metaverse so far. And then usually what I was doing was every Saturday I was giving away $20.
Okay.
And it wasn't mad respect. It was real money. So we do $20 to whoever won, and the audience votes. Now, some people are like, you know, we've had some people like, oh, it's unfair. Like people leave throughout the show. It's like random. Some people it packs out and then people leave and stuff. And I'm like, well, it's not like this place is so busy with comics or people wanting to get on stage that I'm like, I need a list and like you guys got to go in order and stuff. Like, like people just trickle in and some of the comics show up first.
Yeah, it's pretty rock and roll actually. You run it. Yeah, you do run it like a black club. Because even the one in Toronto,
oh no,
dude, the one in Toronto. I remember I did my so I didn't do my Just for Laughs showcase there, but there was a Just for Laughs show. There's like 20 Just for Laughs showcases in Toronto, right? To get onto Just for Laughs, biggest comedy festival in the world, and it's like such a big deal. And I remember all these white shows, they would be like, you got to do 7 minutes only. Don't do more than 7 minutes, dude. They would tell people to stop laughing. They'd be like, don't laugh. I won't be able to get my jokes in, which is kind of a flex, but it's like tight 7 minutes.
Well,
dude, the Nubian show, everyone did 11 minutes. They couldn't do it. They stick to their time.
And sometimes I do
not 1%
over the 7 minutes. You know, usually do 7 minutes. I give them the red light at 6. I also have a green light, which if I feel like you're doing well, or you know, then I'll put that on. That gives you an extra minute, so you get 8 minutes. Because most of the time I was doing open mics out in real life.
Wow, dude, you have a
5 minutes. Sometimes it's like 3 minutes, but there's never a 7 minutes or 10 minutes or anything where you can really stretch your legs. So I was like, screw it, I'll bring 7 minutes as a minimum in. And again, most of the time it's not like people are so like coming in just to do the comedy. Like we usually have more audience than we do have comics. And then even so, like we'll bring up random people just like, I have a funny story, and it usually involves them shitting their pants for some reason.
Yeah,
it's a good laugh, you know?
Why not? Yesterday was amazing. The girl that went on after me was so good. Honestly,
she's won before too, but you know, she goes, she's like, not a comic. And we're like, why? Like go, you already got some skill and talent without any from what you say, real life experience, just metaverse comedy, which isn't the same.
She's only done metaverse comedy. She never did comedy in the real world.
And she doesn't really do it. She's just kind of out partying in the metaverse most of the time.
What a banger set, dude. Yesterday, this girl did the last set, and I thought people were heckling. She built the crowd up to the point where they're like, people were yelling like, "You're so funny!"
Yeah. I just let her go.
Funny. How do I follow you?
Bonnie, go, because I mean, again, she was up there for like 15 minutes, you know. But again, I didn't know we didn't have any other. I don't know. Were you up after, or you were up before her? Yesterday?
I was up before her.
Right.
And
so
when
I was
up, I was
blend out the show with her. You know, like people were enjoying it. And again, it's not like I have a whole line of people like, oh man, that's way over the top. Like I want to get in that. Like people. You know, so
I got her on stage. If you remember what happened was you couldn't see her, and then she's whispering to me. So I'm in the metaverse. She comes up to me, she's like, "Hey, how'd you get on stage?" And I was like, "You just asked this guy," and she's like, "Oh man, I think he's just ignoring me." And I'm like, "No."
Oh no. So let me tell you the story.
Then I think I yelled out, and then you were like, "Okay, come on, I can't see you." So you couldn't see her. I could see her. Everything's bugging out in the stupid metaverse.
Oh, so this
my God.
Part of that story. So she came up to me invisible and shit. So invisible people can see everybody and the invisible people. People that are solid can only see the solid people.
Yeah.
So she comes up to me, and you know, she talked about it on stage, but like she sounded like a little boy, like, you know, just barely getting into puberty and stuff. So she so she goes, "Remember me? I don't see her, and I'm thinking it's a Kent, so I just take my gun off my belt and start shooting wildly. And I ended up shooting myself in the dick, and I put myself on the roof. Like,
oh yeah, you were on the roof at one point.
It was her the whole time.
You're just shooting in the air in there, and just like, shut up, kid, shut up.
Shot myself because I was like trying to get behind me, and I shot myself.
What a silly
I ended
time
up
in
on
there,
the roof for the first time. But I've ended shows like that. Just got on stage and pistoled myself in the face and laughed. Like, all right, show's over. Like,
yeah, you got a good vibe in there. You got a good vibe. It's like it does get rowdy, but even that's part of a charm. Like we were saying with the black room.
It's fun to it. It never gets to like just a level of like. It kind of did get kind of chaotic at the end last night. It got a little crazy at the end, to the point where I was like, I think I just lost control of the crowd. But we were about to be done, so I was like, all right, we're done. But
wow,
yeah, it got crazy at the end there. But for the most part, you know, I don't usually have to pull the horn out. I can usually get the crowd to settle down before that. If I do have to pull it out, then they'll settle down. But we also have regulars that love to come in and, you know, tell people to shut the fuck up, and they usually listen to those people in the audience.
Yeah. I was trying to tell you actually, because 2 troublemakers came. They kept going to the bar and then throwing bottles.
Yeah, I kept trying to shoot that guy, but I couldn't see him. He was visible. I just see like out of the lobby area door, just bottles flying forward onto the stage. And I'm like shooting as I see him coming in. I couldn't. Yeah. Then I go to the bar and just fire all over the place. Like,
oh my god.
Yeah, I don't.
No, but you do.
Yeah, it's getting crazy in there. So.
You are like a club owner in there. Like I saw you. I remember I came out to talk to you. I actually thought you were ignoring me. I actually know what she's going through, because I actually came in.
You don't know, like you don't know.
Minutes. I'm like, I guess it's a busy night, so he doesn't care that I'm here. Because usually I come in and you're like, "Yo, Amisha's here," or something, right? And I'm sitting there for like 5 minutes. I'm like, I guess nobody cares that Amisha's here,
right? And then you back in and you were solid, and then somehow you disappeared again. So
yeah, I just disappeared. Yeah, and then we did bring me in, and then I don't know if my headset glitched out. The whole thing's a mess, eh? This idiot. I mean, he'll figure it out. He'll figure it out.
It's just so much money.
It's a lot.
You know, it's almost like Call of Duty. You're just like, this is what we get. What? There's so much money and people working at why? How is this broken? And the crazy part of, like, at least with Call of Duty, they're like, yeah, we got like 3 million players online. Where Metaverse is like, we got 100,000 and just thousands.
I know. He was trying to get 300. They had 300,000, and it went down to 1. Oh man, you know what? We're all trying to get the numbers up, right, people? Hey, hit the like, hit the subscribe out there. We're all trying to get the numbers. What's that? Sorry?
I'm sorry. Oh, I said when you get like 10,000 people, you know, together at once, it just sparsely fills out the metaverse.
I know, right?
But we always back out. Like, I mean, we had probably like a week where I don't know if it was like people going back to school or something.
Yeah.
Or I wasn't promoting it right. And we were kind of getting like 10 people lobbies. And I was like, what's going on? But now, you know, we get 32 people in there, packs out, you know, fluctuates, people come in and out. The good thing about doing the Metaverse comedy is, one, you're getting exposure to international at this point of people. I mean, there's people that come in there from Ireland and I had this chick that was going in there before the Iran thing. She was from Iran. She won one of the comedy competitions with her stories.
And then Iran put the sanctions on her, like those.
Oh yeah, she even messaged me on like Oculus, like, you know, everything's going crazy. Like, I'll have to let you know on a different account or whatever. So.
Oh my god! And you couldn't even get her $20, eh?
She was funny, and it was.
Did she win? Imagine like you're like you won.
She went up first time and won. Like I said, anybody that gets up there, like, you never know like what story they got to tell, and was she able to confident than like a regular open mic. So like you know, I remember when
you never know. It's magical, and you almost build something with the crowd. Like, the crowd is involved in your show in a way that's very real and very fun, because there is the shooting people, and
those people. I mean, I let people like get away with heckling and talking back, especially if I'm on stage. Yeah, I kind of encourage that type of stuff, but you know, there's a point where you're like, all right, that's too much, man. Like, we're done here, and they won't stop. and they keep trying to make it about themselves. And I'm like, I got the sharing stick, and this is the you're not sharing stick. And then I put them on the roof with it.
Boom. Yeah. Yo, let's check out.
In tech continues with Facebook, or Meta, as it's now called, firing more than 11,000 employees. That's about 13% of its workforce. And some of those Axe workers are going on social media to share their heartbreak. Emmy reports.
Diverse with the men, I guess. It's just women that lost.
Facebook founder
Oh my God, no. You're kidding me. Only women fired. That sounds like something Elon Musk would do, though. You know, Elon Musk is like, dude, because of Elon Musk, nobody's even talking about this.
I know, right? Like
it's like this is under the radar.
Yeah, nobody's like, why did they put at least one man's picture in there? Does he not look devastated? Or we need more emotion in his face? He's just like burying it deep down. And like, I'm fine. I'm gonna go home, play some Call of Duty. Have a good night.
11,000, and you know what? Unlike Twitter too. You know what? This is where all these corporations that pretend to go woke. This is where they suffer. Because if you pretend to go woke and you hire a girl and like, hey, we love women of color, we want to support you, whatever. Good luck firing her. You can't fire her. Right. You told her you're like, you deserve this and it's your time and this and that. Yeah. She's gonna be like, fuck you, you fucking fire me, bitch. Pay me more too. Like, dude, people get aggressive, man. This is so sad, dude.
That's about 13% of its work.
I know. Facebook heartache.
Workforce. And some of the Congregaaaation were.
Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg is laying off 11,000 workers. I'm outside Facebook's New York City headquarters. Fired workers are expressing heartbreak over social media. They got the bad news early via an email at 6 a.m. and they were given 1 day's more access.
Email. How do you fire 11,000?
You know what would be surprising but very funny at the same time? He like sends it in the Oculus Quest and the Metaverse, so they have to like log on, go into the Horizon World's fired world, and like hit the recommendation.
Imagine they go, you couldn't fire us face to face, and he's like, I did in the Metaverse.
Yeah. And he's like,
you log in here, I got a special video for you.
Be the first to get legs as a severance package.
No, but you know what would be a nice way to do it is to give them all an Oculus and be like, Merry Christmas, Merry Early Christmas. You get an Oculus. You turn it on and see what the first video is. And the first video is like, hey, you're fired. I'm sorry. I just can't keep it going.
It's like the logo starting up on the Pro. You're like, oh man, we got Oculus Pros today. Yeah. It just starts up, you're fired. You're just like, it doesn't even work, man. What the fuck?
What the fuck? Oh, that's so sad. I hate to laugh at people just losing their jobs.
It sucks, man.
Buddy, it's a time of suffering, man. It's going to be a rough winter.
Emails to say farewell to their colleagues.
Oh my God, who wrote this? This was literally like my dream job. And I was so proud of myself when I got it, and I'm still very proud of myself.
Hey, TikTok, I don't have a job anymore.
I don't even know what to do with myself. I have been working since I was 15 years old. I've never once been unemployed.
This pregnant woman's last day is also her due date. She couldn't stop sobbing.
My God.
Much of the
Oh my God.
Fucking hey, dude. Talk about
holy shit
accountability. Oh my God.
Zuckerberg, it's not good optics.
You couldn't wait. Like
you couldn't fire a couple of dudes.
Need to fix in this country is that like just it's.
Where's the dudes though? Are the dudes not complaining?
I feel like that's gonna be a lawsuit of some kind because she was technically still pregnant. I don't think they can fire you. I mean, no, they can't fire you for being pregnant, but
that's God's rules. I think in America it's capitalism, baby. Money.
Oh no,
money.
I know it is. It's just I'm just saying that's awful. Like, happy baby, and you're fired.
but you would think like it's got to be against some rule. She's pregnant.
Oh, for sure.
In Europe,
I'm
it is.
Sure there's a lawyer she's contacted. Like, what do I do? We'll first have the baby, and then we're gonna work on this. Like,
I bet they can all contact a lawyer, and they could all pull some kind of racism, social justice card, and be like, "I need another $2 million," and they'll maybe get it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, maybe.
That's the game right now. You can get it. You're like Zuck.
I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm a white guy, so like all of those privileges I think already exist for me. So I don't,
Wow, like, what a nice guy! What a sweetie boy!
Like, oh, you fired me because I'm a straight white male, and that's a problem. And
so you think that's why the men?
You got a guy for you.
Yeah. You think that's why the men aren't making videos because they're like, no one's
Yeah,
gonna care
like,
about us. They're like, I deserve it. I deserve it as a white. No one's gonna care if I make a video.
You're gonna be able to get a job, you piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be fine, straight white man. Oh my god.
Funny.
He is.
Problem is Zuckerberg's $100 billion investment in the metaverse.
Yeah.
The company's invested billions of dollars on their metaverse plans, and they've said that their losses around their metaverse division are going to grow next year.
Zuckerberg demonstrated the metaverse on CBS last year, creating an avatar
I think
for
they got the guys from Call of Duty that didn't make it do this for them.
What's that?
I think they got the guys from the Call of Duty series that didn't do a good job and got fired.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah, that's
we don't
what
know how to
happened.
shade or graphics, so it's about as playable as Call of Duty. Enjoy.
Yeah. Well, it is weird to just say we can't do legs. Like, I think people have been doing legs.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really care as much about the legs. I don't really like because I'm sitting on my couch. Like
Sure.
I'm sitting. You know, like I got the Oculus to play video games. And
Yeah.
then I found
And
out
is it
about
just Horizon? Is it just Horizon that's like that? Because I'm sure that if I'm playing like, can you play Call of Duty in there? Have you played Call of Duty?
They have like a game called Contractors, which is like Call of Duty. They even have people that like build the Call of Duty maps,
right,
in Contractors to play. And I went in there. I actually went in there not too long ago, and I guess they like made it like super open moddable, and people just made it into Halo and Star Wars games. And I just like I just got on there like drunk, and I was like, "Oh, looks like they're having a theme night." And like, we're like, "No, they've ruined the entire game now."
Oh no!
But yeah, I
the
guess it
game's
was
not
just
good in there.
always Star Wars and like Halo now for some reason. So I was like, "All right." I just thought
is it good in there? Well, Halo. Listen,
it's fun. I used to like. I had a video game TikTok that was like probably my best social media I've ever done with anything. Got a lot of views. I'm bad at video games in general, so I learned from a friend of mine, like just do really hard stuff like a bunch, and then like when it happens and works, just clip that, or just do stupid, funny things nobody else is doing and clip that. So it's just all these clips of me being awful at video games and then super nasty in other instances. But they're always funny because I'm either, laughing because how stupid this is, or I'm laughing because I can't believe I just did that and it worked out. So, I was with that was cool. So, but I had a kid last year, September 20th. So I had to get rid of the Xbox. I was like, I got to get rid of it. I got to do this daddy thing,
Yeah.
So, but I started to miss it. And I was like, man, I don't want to get another Xbox, because like the new ones are out, but you can't get them. And the PS5 is the same way. So I was like, what can I get right now that works? And I went on a friend's TikTok and he had his headset on. And I was like, oh man, that'd be cool. Like I want to try one of those out, but I don't want to get a whole PC and everything. It's like, oh no, it's standalone. You just get it and go.
Wow. Okay. So that's how you got into it. So listen, this is Metaverse. How do you make the videos with your cell phone? You just take your cell phone and hit the record?
No, actually they, if you look in your launch menu, there's like a red arrow that goes to the right.
Yeah.
If you click on that, it'll record videos directly through the headset with your audio and everything included.
Yeah.
So those videos that are on the Raw Dog of me like POV first person, that's from my headset directly.
Yeah, that's
and then I transfer them into my computer.
Yeah, let's finish this video.
All right, welcome.
Oh my God, you've got freckles on your nose.
All for us.
I have freckles in real life too, so I'm trying to do the best with my avatar.
In a letter to employees, Zuckerberg said, "This is a sad moment. I want to take accountability for how we got here."
So it's time to find a new dream.
Dude, all women.
Is offering a generous severance package as paying.
How did we get here? It was a bad dream, actually.
Dude, who are all, and like not one dude is fired? Or
no, one guy is like,
got here.
So it's time to find a new dream.
Oh,
maybe that's why no, hopefully nobody gets mad at this, but maybe that's why like Facebook is so emotionally driven.
Yeah.
It's like women are more in touch with the emotional stuff. So they probably typed it into the algorithm to work with that. And that's how we got, January 6th.
You think Zuckerberg hired a bunch of women to be like, make it catty?
Right. I mean, I'm not saying like men aren't emotional or women are like emotional to the point of like a fault or something, but I'm saying like if they're writing the algorithm because they're like better at emotional
manipulating people
and all that,
they can manipulate
they
good,
whipped it into like it's the algorithm with it, because again it's always like everything you see on Facebook is like, did you know that this man threw 7 babies off a bridge? And it's like, oh my god, I want to read about that, right? Because that's awful. Or some other anything to get an emotional reaction.
No, you know what my favorite one of my favorite new this is a Facebook channel. They're like a prank channel where they go, you won't believe how we clean the toilet or something like that, right?
Oh no.
No, this is the best video. And then it's 20 minutes long and they basically pour every single cleaning product into the toilet. Every product. They do 4 cans of Ajax. They do 3 whole bottles of whatever. They just pour everything in and they keep going and going. And it's just like, you won't believe the cleaning system. You won't believe it. And
it's so clean, you'll die.
It's so crazy. And
cleans out every dough from the mustard gas.
and people are on there and they're like doing stuff like they're basically like hold on.
Oh, somebody's spamming you there.
Somebody's trying to get people, trying to steal people to the stream. Do not go to the Pudge 007 stream. Pudge 007. If they were doing good, they wouldn't be here talking like this. But yeah, dude, it's so weird. Hold on.
Yeah, you gonna moderate for that?
I do have a mod.
Oh man.
Let's see.
It's weird right now. He's getting.
It's like he made a virus for this.
Oh no.
There's like 1,000 of them. Holy shit! Look at this guy
going down.
Oh my god, we got a virus, people. You have to fight back in the comments. Where's CEB Applejack? I know he's a thing.
Come on, 12 viewers, you can do it.
Come on, people. You got to fight back against the tyranny. This guy is out of control.
He doesn't support American veterans.
He hates veterans, basically. Yo, do you ever pull that card? You are a veteran. We got to talk about that. I did want to talk to you about some war propaganda.
What, like a movie star? Like, you know what rank I was in the military.
Yeah.
No, man. Most of the time, I like you can go to places and get like military discounts sometimes if you ask or whatever.
Right.
Most of the time I completely forget. And there's been some good transactions where I go back later and I'm like, oh man, they had a disc. I could have saved like $200 on that. Like, oh no. So yeah, most of the time I'm not like, it's not like, I don't use it as like an accolade of myself. Like it is just something I did. But it's not like, that's not me. Obviously, look at these tits. Like, these aren't Army issue.
Oh, you don't do like the whole Jocko Williams, or like you're out of the game now? Because on the thumbnail,
yeah, no, I got out. I was in from 2007 to 2011. I got out. Wouldn't matter. It probably would have military medical retired me anyways. Once they figured out that I was actually nuts. So that was like a year later after.
What do you mean nuts? What did they do? What do you mean?
I'm bipolar 1.
Okay.
And, so I actually had an episode like when I first got out. That was actually pretty bad. But I didn't know it was crazy. It just happened. Crazy doesn't know it's crazy, and that's the truth. So, if I had stayed in the military, like eventually that would have happened, and they would have been like, "Yeah, we'll let you get out, man. Like, we're not sending you back to the desert, dude."
Do you think you got it? Like, what do you think of like your experience in Iraq? So did you do 8 years in Iraq? Like, how many years did you do in Iraq?
So
and like, how was that?
I did a tour. I went in 08-09, October 08-09. I did one tour, came back good enough. Our unit got disbanded afterwards. So we kind of like slowly started giving over equipment and like shutting down. So everyone was either getting branched out into other, PCS, different duty stations, or in a different unit. But because, I was getting out within that couple of years getting back, like we weren't back on rotation to go back. So it took a couple of years to like dress it all down. And by that time, I was just like, I'm out. Like, I'm not doing this. Like, I came back with my fingers and toes. Like, let's not play this game with the Reaper.
Yeah.
Didn't even know I was crazy then, but, I paid my price eventually, I guess. So.
Jeez, you keep saying crazy. Like, it's bipolar, dude. That's not.
It's
level 1, level 2.
It's called manic depressive, you get delusions and, you don't sleep and eventually you start.
Delusions? I didn't know you get delusions.
Oh,
you must be bipolar 3.
So bipolar 2 is like more of the emotional type of one, where like bipolar 1 is like, it's like, fucking best friends with schizophrenia, they hang out in the same circles. So
that's bipolar 1?
I'm not like a violent bipolar. I'm actually, what I do is I usually like give away all my stuff.
But hold on. I thought bipolar 1, 2, 3, I thought the higher the number, the worse the bipolar.
No,
you're saying it's like the number 1 is the fucking.
Yeah, I don't know if there is 3 bipolars. I think there's only 2.
So there's only 2.
Yeah, so the one I have is bipolar 1, which is the manic depressive, is what they used to call it.
Yeah,
because I think they should have just left it manic depressive because it literally describes what it is. So like you get like a high, so you get like manic. And what's really crappy about this illness is what people don't really understand is like when you're on that super high before you like come crashing down, or you got to go to a psych ward or whatever it is. It's like the happiest you'll ever be in your life. It's the craziest. Like there's nothing that'll put you on that level there and from back on. Like it's just like that. There's like it's complete pure bliss. Like
I love it. I love that. No, dude, I actually was diagnosed as bipolar and I never took any meds for it. But I was just diagnosed by this doctor in Toronto. It was like a walk-in. It was like a walk-in, and he told me to come back, and he was like, "Yeah, you have bipolar, and you should take lithium." He said, and I looked up lithium, and I was like, "Boring."
Oh yeah, I was on that.
And it makes you gain weight too. So I was like, I don't want that.
Yeah, no, I definitely got fatter after I got out, and had to get on the medication. But it's the only thing that seemed to work because everything. Because for a couple of years I struggled with it. Some of it because it's so delusional, you almost think that like it. And when you take the medication, it middles you out.
Right.
And not that it makes you like really numb, but there's no like really excited or super sad. It's just always like kind of the same. Like kind of like an antidepressive, I guess. They'll just put you on the level and keep you there, so nothing really is too effective or whatever. And what sucks about that is you feel like kind of your spark is gone from like your creativity. And
I feel that too.
You have, and that's really rough. So for a couple of years, I like battled against it. I was like trying weed, or I would try something else that would keep that from happening, but it always happened.
Yeah,
I always ended up in the hospital.
Oh my god!
And it always ruined my life to that point.
But why do you end up in the hospital for being depressed? Like you? What
no. It's the mania and the delusions. Eventually, you do something stupid enough, somebody notices. Somebody calls the cops.
How stupid are we talking though? Because okay, then maybe I don't have it as bad because and maybe I don't have it. Like it was just some walk-in. But I do have the manicness and I don't have the depressive. And I told him that, and he's like, well, maybe you're just shifted up. So you're hyper happy, and then your depressed side is not coming in that low even. So I was like, well, sounds like great.
There was only one time where I was so depressed, like it, it's funny how you hear about all these conditions like anxiety and depression, and people describe like, oh, you can't leave or do anything, or you just don't want to get out of bed, and you don't understand that till you go through it. I've had anxiety attacks so bad that like I can't fall asleep or like walk the dog, or like you literally feel like, oh my god, like I can't do anything, I'm frozen.
Yeah. Okay.
With the stuff, after one episode, I came down so bad that it was like a chore to get out of bed. Like you'd wake up early because the sun was up, and it's like all I want to do is sleep, but you can't sleep. You're awake, And then like it's chore to brush your teeth. They're like, even like to get on your phone, you're like, oh, I gotta do, like, you don't want to watch TV. Like I was like, this is how people.
You don't want to watch TV?
Yeah. Like I totally get it now. Like,
because TV is lazy itself, isn't it? Like,
oh,
it's like,
absolutely. TV's like it's so, dude, like that's how bad it is in your head. You're just
too
like,
lazy to watch TV.
Like enjoy TV. Like it's just crap right now.
Wow, that is
like a good month, and that was the lowest I've ever been after an episode. But usually I don't crash super hard. But with the mania, one story is I was, it's up for. So this is the last time I actually had an episode, which was one of the the first episode was super bad because it was actually like hallucinating in real life, and I was in jail and stuff, and they just left.
You went to jail, dude? Hold on.
Weeks. Yeah, dude.
Hold on. You were in jail?
All right, so I'll explain both stories. So
you rock and roll, you Americans, dude. This is American rock and roll life.
Yeah. So first time I went nuts, I lived in Renton, Washington, and it just came over me one day, and it was like dreams I was having. So I was moving to another comedian's place because I was getting evicted out of my place. Like I was going through some bad personal stuff, and I ended up just getting in my U-Haul and trying to drive to California to see my other friend in Los Angeles, which I eventually moved down there to live with him a couple months later. But like, I didn't know I was crazy. Like I'm in the U-Haul doing 90 in the breakdown lane.
Oh my God. Like, in the breakdown lane?
Like all the traffic stopped on the highway and I'm doing like 90, just pegging it out. I'm like, dude, if I do 88, I can go into the future. Like this is the delusions I'm having.
Wow.
I get pulled over by the police. And they come up like guns drawn, like they're ready. And like I get out, but like I just got out of the military like, a year before. So I had like my military jacket on, like I wasn't dressed all, but like, they were like, they were like, what's going on? So first I thought I was drunk. So I got arrested for neglected driving and then suspected DUI. I had no drugs or alcohol or anything in my system. Actually, what had just happened that day was Washington had legalized marijuana, and everyone was freaking out because like if you're any type of smoker, it's going to be in your blood. They're going to test it. You're getting a DUI no matter what, even if you're high, no matter, you're getting one.
Wow.
So like for 3 days or 4 days before I didn't smoke at all because I was like, I don't want to get a DUI. And I'm not really a big drinker. So they pull me out, they arrest me, put me in the back of the car, and they like take me down to the station because they can't because I'm like having a whole meltdown and I don't know what's really going on. Like again, everything's just like hitting me at once, and I'm like putting pieces and puzzles together from my whole life. Like, oh, this is it. Like I'm special. I'm supposed to do something special.
You thought that extra lane was like a portal into the future. You said if I can go down here at 90,
88 miles an hour, I'm
so rock and roll,
future or something. I don't know.
Like God would come down and say, "Bro, you ran, bro."
Yeah, so it was like this weird like quest from God type of stuff. And I'm not a religious person, so it was
my God.
Yeah, super weird. So I thought I had to deal with like one of my friends from high school that died. And like he was trying to because it was right around Christmas time and stuff. Like so like I thought it was like this whole like the world's gonna end and I gotta like help save.
And you're on a mission from God
or something like that.
Yeah.
So they take me down to the police station. They, make me do a breath test, and it's all double zeros. And then they made me piss in a cup, and the piss was green. And they're like, I've never seen this before. Well, what they didn't know is I had been pounding like 5-hour energy drinks, which is also super bad on an episode. But like, you don't know that. You shouldn't be doing caffeine on an episode. Just so like when you I've talked to people that like been addicted to meth, and they're like, it sounds like you were doing a lot of meth. Like I've never done meth in my life. But like the episode, like your brain speeds up and goes faster and faster and faster. It's why you don't sleep until you eventually start hallucinating. So it's just like it speeds your brain way up. And you're like, like I could do really good math on an episode. I'm awful at math. But like when I'm in an episode, I'm amazing.
You're good
anyways,
at math. You're not just doing fake math. It's real math.
like real math, and I would check it with a calculator sometimes. I'd be like, "Wow, how did I know that?" And I'm like, I'm just like I don't realize it on an episode.
The math gives you a little bit of an edge.
Right,
No, it's the episode.
like, like I'm unlocking parts of my brain, man.
Yeah.
So they bring me in. They deem I'm not drunk. There's no drugs in my system. The green piss was due to the energy drinks, and they were just wigged out. So eventually they. This is how I know I have white privilege right here. So I'm in a Eugene, Oregon police station.
Yeah.
And a cop is in front of me, and he's saying something to me, and I'm starting to get like, again, these are delusions. So I'm like, oh shit. Like, I think I'm special. Like, I can do what I want. Like, I'm going to test the world, right? So I spit on him. And then I went and reached for his handgun. And then they, of course, reacted. I got thrown on the ground. And again, this is how I know I have white privilege. I just in a police station. I didn't get tased. I actually didn't even get hurt, nor did they shoot me. They weren't even that rough. They just brought paramedics in and brought me to a hospital. And again, another
you idiot.
Yeah. He didn't know I was crazy either. So like, I'm in the
hospital. He like tapped you on the head after. He's like, "Hey, dum stop it."
It was, they locked me. They had me like in lock moves or whatever, so I couldn't move. And they were just like, and I read the report later, and I was like, "Oh, this is so crazy." So I go to the hospital. While I'm in the ambulance, I feel like we're like traveling to London or something. Like I just feel like we're speeding up and like zipping through. Like they have, like I think the cops are on my side. Like I think they're angels and stuff, and like this is all big play,
right?
News or something, because I'm trying to do something.
This is the bipolarism.
I know this is a really crazy story, and I'm leaving out a lot of details. But so I get to the hospital, and they strap me down to a bed, gurney or whatever, and I start hallucinating that there's like blacked out soldiers all dressed up in gear running around the hospital, killing all the nurses and stuff and the doctors, and I'm freaking out about it, of course, because it looks so real. And then I pass out. So I thought they were going to kill me. Like, I thought it was like this conspiracy to like stop Jesus from coming back or something. It was so crazy.
But just to be clear, this is all coming from Bipolar 1.
Yeah, this is a manic episode. This is
I always thought it was just emotional. I didn't know.
No. This is all a manic episode. So it really screws up everything. And again, you don't know you're crazy while you're crazy, nor the first time you're crazy. So you do a lot of stuff, and like I'm out in Seattle area now. I'm in Oregon, Eugene, Oregon, 6 hours away in my U-Haul. My family doesn't know where I am. Like friends don't know where I am. I'm just like disappeared off the map. Like gave my cell phone away. Like it's crazy.
Dude, Cameron MP says, "Wow, this dude is very crazy." LOL. Cameron, have respect, Cameron.
Yeah, for sure. No. Definitely
veteran.
Crazy. But there's magical little pills I take, and it works great. So this is the first episode. So I don't know any of this going on, like what's happening. So I wake up in the hospital because they gave me a tranquilizer to like put me to sleep. So it kind of brings me down a little bit base level, enough to be able to kind of work out that I have to pretend to be normal to get out of this hospital. Like,
right.
So I'm able to like get out of the hospital. Like I'm still crazy and I'm still on an episode. And then I go back to the police station and they're like, "Oh, looks like you're doing better today." I literally talk to the cops, have a great conversation, and then I leave and go get my U-Haul. And then I find my 5-hour energy drinks in there. Yeah. And I go back on another episode. And
wow. So Bipolar 1 plus caffeine.
Caffeine's banned.
Energy drinks.
Marijuana can be banned while you're on an episode. Like any type of intoxicant's not good. But again, usually you don't know you're going that path unless there's people around you to be like, "Hey, you're a little off. Like, what's going on?" Like it's a slow buildup. And then
are you into conspiracies? Are you into conspiracies? Because this seems like you almost sound like the people who write QAnon.
I'm into conspiracies that are logical. Does that make sense? Because I've paid
I don't mean right now. I don't mean literally, but I mean
that stuff since like the early 2009s.
Yeah.
And the one thing I've noticed almost 100% of the time, there is stuff they get right at times. Sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, like for the big stuff, you get to that date and they move the goalpost down the street. And you're like, wait a minute. and they just build up like 10 years of like, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. And
it's like the Bible guys who say, it's like these Christian churches. They'll say the end of the world is like this March 30th, the end of the world is coming. Give me all your money. We're going to go to the spaceship. We're going to do whatever. And then the day comes and everyone's like, dude, there's one senior scam guy. He made all these seniors pay him. And now the seniors are like, I don't have any money.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. So like, yeah, so the conspiracy stuff's in there, but it's, again, it has to be logical for me. Like,
so you don't believe in it?
Here's a perfect example of a conspiracy that came true, right? So for the longest time, they're talking about like all these underground tunnels under Walmart and stuff. They're going to turn them all into concentration camps for Americans and all that crap.
Come on.
And then a bunch of them closed down in the South, right? In the South Core, and they're like, it was plumbing issues. And people are like, no way, dude. None of that's happening. So everyone's freaking out about this. And, you know, months go by, nothing happens. What a surprise. Like, just like everything. And then, I don't know if you remember this news article. You remember when they were keeping the migrants at the closed down Walmarts? Remember that?
Wow.
So they were right about what they were going to use them for, just about the people where they were wrong. So it was for the migrants to be there. And then once that was a thing, they're just like, that's not Americans. We don't care. And it's like, wait a minute, you kind of had it right. But
yeah, you kind of had it.
Bad thing still, you know?
Well, you know, it's probably 50-50. Probably half of them were like, wait, migrants? Who cares? And then half of them were like, no, it's still a story. We got it right. You know, it's like,
but you just never saw anything about it really after that on any of the YouTubes. So again, like a lot of the big ones, like the date comes and then they're like, oh, it didn't happen. And they're like, oh, it's because so many people knew. And it's like, dude, no. If you give a billion people the information, let's say the top of the elites or whatever have, you're still not going to change enough people's minds, and they could still take over the world if they wanted to.
And they're the ones promoting it.
It doesn't matter like how many people know it. It will never be enough to make a difference in whatever they're planning, you know?
Well, excuses. I mean, your conspiracy didn't come through, and now you're going to say, oh, the vibration was too high. So many people knew, and then the alien said, no, we don't want to go now, and we will coming in 2 years. We will be there. Like that's
right.
Or like, you can always be right.
They got that mysterious planet that's going to come ruin the world. Like, oh, it's coming this summer. And then the summer comes, they're like, we were wrong. It's like every year.
Yeah. But, you know, the reason I was asking, though, about the conspiracy thing is because, you know, you were saying earlier that you're having this manic episode.
Right.
And you're making up this story. And the story that you made up almost feels like a QAnon.
Right.
Like, do you know the story of QAnon?
It was like living a QAnon fever dream before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
you're the star.
Like the whole time, you know, when these other people, again, like I think the police are angels. So that's a weird part of the conspiracy. But I'm also on top of paramedics, and everyone's like part of my little play. And we're fighting the devil and all that. And that's that's ruining things or whatever. So, you know, I get out of the police station. Eventually, I end up at a Verizon or something, or a store. I get out because the radio is singing about me going to get a gun and doing something like messed up. And I'm not violent. So I like freak out. I'm like, oh my God. Like that's when I stopped and had a moment of clarity. I was like, something's wrong. So I called 911 and I said, there's a problem. Like I'm freaking out. And the people they send are police officers, not ambulance.
Yeah.
So they show up, and I go back in the episode, and they detain me to bring me to the hospital. I'm not arrested. They detain me and bring me to the hospital. I ended up in the hospital, and they have like an emergency in another room, so the cops take off. So I try to leave, and they weren't about that. And then I shoved a cop because I thought, but now I'm thinking they're trying to kill me or something. This is where the police is bad.
Yeah.
And then they hog tie me and take me out to the police car, and I go to jail, and I don't know any of this. And then like I kind of black out with some memories. And I know I just end up in like a solitary confinement cell for 2 weeks having a full episode. With
2 weeks you went in.
Yeah, I was gone 2 weeks. I lost
the white privilege ran out. You ran out the white privilege, and they said, okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Still, we have to do something.
But I mean, you know,
you had to hit them.
When you see all these things going on in the news, like police are showing up and shooting people on mental illnesses and stuff, and it's kind of like, you know, I didn't call for the police. Like, if an ambulance had showed up, maybe that would have been best. But because the police showed up, I still ended up in jail.
Right.
I just literally, I started getting delusional. I thought I was in like purgatory, and I could hear the train to hell going by my jail cell all the time.
Oh my
I
God.
thought it was like bad, and then it was crazy. It was so
Dude.
it was so nuts. And then like
That's
when
nuts.
they finally figured out who I was, because I didn't have any ID, I obviously wasn't in the right state of mind. I didn't even know who my name was. So, and their fingerprint machine wasn't working, because as soon as they get those fingerprints, they're gonna be like, boom, he was in the military. He's a vet. So,
And then
2
they have
weeks
respect,
later,
right?
They
Then-
finally got the machine up, and they got me to do the fingerprints. And they figured out, and they had to bring me out of my my cell in a wheelchair. I was so exhausted. I lost 20 pounds because I wasn't eating. Like, oh, dude, it was so bad. And I was like,
exhausted from what?
Into the world, because I thought
you're training
Jesus or something. I was like, because like during all this stuff, like I'm also having voices in my head, and they're like putting me through these tests, and I don't know what's going on. And
they
then,
make you work out. They're like do 100 push-ups.
I started training because they're like, you got to do important stuff. You got to fight the devil and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, it's like,
That'd be so funny if they came and made you work out though. They're like, yeah, I'm a personal trainer from God.
Well, I was also having hallucinations of people coming to my, like I met the devil a couple times. That was like, you know. So at the end of it, they're like, all right, like we're gonna tell you now, like you're Jesus Christ and you've come back. And I was like, oh man, is this what it was all leading up to? Like, this is crazy. And then I'm like screaming and yelling and crying, like, I don't want to be Jesus. I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to, like, literally, like, you know, you tell somebody they're Jesus Christ if it was real, they'd be like, this is awesome. And I'm like, no, I don't, that's a lot of work. Like, I got tits. Like, I don't.
You didn't want to do it. You didn't want to be the third coming.
So
you thought it was too much
pressure. Like, well, we're gonna come get you.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna blow up the world. Like, the world's gone.
So these are just the voices in your head, not the cops.
Right. These are voices in my head. And I was like, no, I don't want to leave. I'll stay here and take all man's sins, and everyone else can go to the afterlife. Where the hell's going on? And they're like, that was the right answer. Because I guess they were doing these tests before, and everyone's like,
of course, they always do testing.
I'm leaving. I'm Jesus, and I can leave. I'm leaving.
They always do tests.
The test. You're Jesus.
That's great. Okay.
So, anyways, but yeah, they had to take me out of my cell in a wheelchair because I was so exhausted.
They're like, now we know you are righteous. Every day he does 200 push-ups, and he does this and this, and he is right. He is Jesus.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So, you know, they get me to a VA facility, and they're like, you know, they released me out of there and said, oh, the reason you went crazy was you smoked marijuana.
Okay.
So I had to drive 6 hours back to where I was from. I was able to come down enough from just being exhausted for those 2 weeks. I was able to normal out, and I didn't know I was crazy still. Like, I remember like getting on the phone with my mom halfway back. I was like, I don't know if I'm crazy. I don't know if there's something in my food. Like, I don't know what just happened. And then I went to Seattle. Some stuff was still kind of messed up. So I went into the Seattle VA, and they're like, you have bipolar. Like, you need to be on meds. Like, we should probably put you in a unit right now. Because like, you're just about to go back into another episode. But luckily you leave, and I was taking my meds, and I chilled out. And like, my life was destroyed when I got out of there. I was like, everything was messed up. So, and it fucks with you, because when you come back.
Do you blame this on military though, or Iraq, or you just had it?
I mean, they don't,
because it sounds like Vietnam. Like, have you ever seen any all the movies after Vietnam? It sounds like that's what it was.
I had to fight for years with a lawyer to get them to recognize that my military service probably contributed to me having an episode of bipolar eventually.
Oh, they don't admit it. They're like, don't even say that.
Well, they thought it was weed related. They're like, you're crazy because you smoke weed.
Of course, the military people blame the weed. Oh, of course, the military.
Yeah. Surprise.
They say because you're smoking that pot, hippie.
Yeah,
that's what did it.
And over the years, over the episodes I've had, which I'll tell you about this, the last one I had too. Over the years of the episodes I had, actually, the thing that always was the same is I didn't have medication in my system. Then I would have an episode.
So the meds work.
Yeah, I haven't had an episode in 7 years, since 2015. In that episode, I got naked in Chinatown and tried to steal a car. And they came up to me. They're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I think I need help." They're like, "Yeah, I think you do." And then like the ambulance came, and I had been walking so much that last 3 days. I actually had rhabdomyolysis, which is where your muscles start to break down and poison your kidneys, and you start to die. And I was in critical care for like a week. Still didn't know who I was, what was going on. So I almost died on my last episode.
Right. And 7 years lithium in your.
No, it wasn't all lithium. I've been on a couple different medications. One actually stopped kind of working about a year back, and I almost had another episode, but I didn't know it wasn't working because, again, it was even slower build up because it was still kind of working.
Yeah.
And then it was giving me these awful anxiety attacks where I just couldn't do anything. Like 2 hours after take the meds, I'd be down for 6 hours. I'd be like, couldn't do anything. It's crazy. So it wasn't on lithium. I don't know I'm on something now. I can't really remember what it is.
Well, you were saying earlier, too lazy to watch TV, even, or not too lazy, but like in a way.
That was after probably my third episode.
Wow.
I had a couple back to back when I was.
But how can Iraq like? So is this some kind of PTSD? Like, is it like going to Iraq?
I have PTSD too. But it's from what I read about bipolars. It can be brought they don't think it's genetic, but you can have disposition to it, and then if you're put under enough stress and strain long enough, it can eventually cause it to come out.
Wow.
So usually you find out in your early 20s.
Someone in our comment section was saying, like, I just got out of the army in April. Dude, it's crazy. I never would see myself experiencing this stuff either. It's so real. Austin Clark, man, if you got stories like this, I would love to hear about them. I mean, this is crazy.
Some of the stuff I've been through after the military is more crazy than the stuff I was in when I was in.
But you are saying, like, you feel in your heart that, like, they're trying to tell you that it's the weed, hippie, it's the weed. But in your heart, you feel like going to Iraq.
It's not because of the weed, because for most of those years that I didn't have episodes, I was smoking straight through. Even there was a time where it was a lot, and I never had an episode. So it's like the one big factor, major factor every time was, did I have medication in my system? If I didn't, then I was in the psych ward eventually.
But then what about when you were in Iraq? Like, so you're not blaming this on Iraq?
I was. There was definitely stuff I could see back then that was concerning.
Yeah.
But it didn't like become a full-fledged, I always tell people there's a lot of people that walk around that are pretty crazy, but they're just like, they're not enough where someone's like, ooh, that's too far. We got to put you in some kind of housing for a while. Like you ever met someone where you're like, dude, that person's great. Like they need to actually need medication or something. Right. Like you'll find that more often, but like the stuff would eventually
you're on the edge where
a random person to call authorities or the fire department or something, or somebody would talk to me and they'd be like, yeah, something's not right here. So
basically, you know what you sound like? It's not Forrest Gump, but like just like the guy who's like, I just can't get caught. Like you're like, I drove in the side lane, like the right. I ripped down 90, I pushed the cop. I told the guy, I reached for his gun, and I'm out here on the street.
Again, you're on like this euphoric high of bliss, and then again, you almost feel like, oh, this isn't real. This isn't a reality. Like there's been times I'm like, this is a video game. I'm in a video game. I can just do what I want now because I just figured out that it's all bullshit, and I can just do what I want. But it's not like that. And then it's like, you feel, while you're in that mode, when stuff starts happening, like the police start showing up, you're like, oh, the game's trying to check me right now.
Yeah. So when you're in a manic episode, you're in, like, you almost see the world as like, this is not a world, it's a video game, and I'm the lead character, and I'm going to go on a banger ass mission.
No, you definitely eventually get to the I am the lead character feel. For sure.
Wow.
Cody says it sometimes gets scary too. Sometimes you get into your brain so hard. I remember one time I was strapped down to a table and I got to thinking too hard. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm not even me. I'm an entity alone in space that like conjured this conscious universe world.
That's what I teach in meditation.
Right. Like, and I'm alone in it and everyone else is just playing parts. And I'm just trying to like, I'm either, you know, I'm trying to get out of here or whatever. I'm trying to entertain myself instead of just being in black, empty space. And that's a super scary thought. That's some existential crisis stuff. And then when your brain isn't like, you know, processing stuff right, it gets like really terrifying to think like that. So
is this, so people in the audience are saying that it sounds like schizophrenia. Cody actually is making a good point.
I've been to plenty of doctors through different psych wards. Some of them were through the VA. A couple of them were your standard civilian hospitals and stuff. And the conclusion is I have bipolar 1 with psychotic symptoms.
Right.
With PTSD and also ADHD on top of that. Good times. So
you got a whole
I got a package, bud.
Wow, dude.
So
that's wild.
Yeah,
and it makes you a rock and roll guy, though. It makes you go rock and roll, go hard, do missions. Like even your comedy club is like a wild thing you've created. It's like a wild, rowdy crowd. It's like it can get rowdy, but you can control them and like.
So yeah, with that, it's funny how you know, it came down the line through stuff because like I was doing stand-up comedy for probably 2 years straight where I was really hammering it hard. And then I had that episode, and then I could never really get back into the pace of it without eventually having an episode. And then I started getting fearful that I would do something that would affect that kind of career trajectory in a way that would be bad. So I just stopped doing stand-up for a while. Right. And then I started back up in real life, doing here and there. And then I got the headset. And then I found on TikTok something about comedy in the metaverse. I was like, oh, what is this? And then I went in and did it.
Well, you found that through TikTok. Awesome. Through the TikTok thing, you found Meta.
TikTok, yeah. So,
wow, man, that's so that's such a journey that you went on a whole journey, and now you're a metaverse entrepreneur. Like you hired people.
So, you know, I used to go into the Soapstone, and I was a regular, host there. I just started going in because like you go up, you just tap the board, go up as many times as you want. And a lot of people were just doing Google jokes. And when I got in there, Will Smith slap just happened. So that was a lot of the jokes.
It's like you were doing there and I was doing on this podcast. Like so I would do the podcast like that.
Stage, and then like Aaron noticed me and he knighted me in. And then I was like a permanent host there.
Wow.
And then I was like, now I want to do my own thing because I can't really swear here and stuff. But I was always doing that at the rooms I was running. I was like swearing because like the audiences were super rowdy, and I was able to get them under control and get them to like enjoy the people getting up on stage. And Aaron was seeing like all these people were like staying in instances.
Wow, you're so passionate about it. That's great.
So I was like, screw that. Like, I'm just, like I've done comedy for years. I've been in a lot of comedy clubs. I've rubbed elbows with some bigger names for sure. Some even that were small then, big now. And I was like, well, I know how to do this. I used to run a comedy show out of a bar when I was 6 months in. And everyone's like, what do you know about comedy? You don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Wait, but when you say out of a bar, do you mean Metaverse bar or a bar?
No. In real life, this was like when I was started comedy 6 months in.
I've done a bunch of shows like that too. I used to run shows like
that.
So
that's how I kind of like figured out that I was good at doing the show running and structuring and all the other stuff. The comedy has not always been as strong as my ability to run a show. I'd say
you're a host. You can you put in the meditation game. They call it a container. It's like you put like an experience together for people.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just tried to make it as realistic in the space that I did comedy in. So we built like a theater. First we did like a dive bar. It's called the Dirty Bubble. It's still up on.
Yeah, that's right. Dirty Bubble. Let me find Dirty Bubble.
Throw tomatoes on stage at comics and stuff. So
amazing.
If anyone wants to buy it, it's for sale. So we took a lot of that scripting.
It's so wild that you're trying to sell a Metaverse comedy club.
We took a lot of that scripting and brought it over to the Raw Dog because I actually got banned back then. Like you couldn't swear. Metaverse rules were like super stringent. PC.
No swearing?
Oh yeah, I used to get banned for it. So I'd always get in trouble for like going back on hecklers and like destroying them. So I got like my big ban was a 30-day ban, like a week after the club. I had like 2,000 visitors first week that we opened.
Wow.
And
Dirty Bubble Comedy Club.
30 days. So it's like, I got to fix this. So like I started having somebody else, my friend Cupid 214 start building a new club for me. And then that's how the Raw Dog came to be. And I just kept building on it because I like the theater style. Feels kind of like legit, but I also got like the green and red light. Like it's just like really set up like a comedy club with like some extra fun stuff like the gun.
I'm going to put it up right now.
Like the gun and, the timer on stage that I got. Like it's just set up the way that I would want.
Yeah, it's like got the street to it. Can everyone see this?
Wow. Hats off to Cupid 214 for the
It's a big space, like it holds a lot of people.
Yeah, it looks a little bigger now because I had to up the capacity to 32 people. I thought he was going to steal my mic, so it was a little kid. So he goes on the roof.
And you shot him. Boom, 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 boom. Done. Wow, I can't believe he's running away and putting his hands up. Dude, this is like a trailer video.
Yeah, so I went to film school for a couple years in Los Angeles, so I have a little bit of editing skills. I failed at editing twice and ended up working at a weed dispensary that was right across the street from the school.
That's amazing.
But now all I do is I love editing videos. It's so weird how that works. But this was our first showcase. These are all clips from our first showcase.
Wow. You love editing videos. Oh, wait, hold on. You love editing. So are you on YouTube? Are you doing documentaries, or you're just doing like the
No, I just do it for my stuff, my fun things and that things like that.
Wow.
So yeah, this is our first showcase. We didn't even have the 32 capacity. I think we were up to like, I don't know, 22 at this point. But now we got people up in the balcony that can go up there. But yeah, this is kind of the look of this is the first month we opened.
And you got everyone cheering, dude. That's like the cheer. You put two hands up and it cheers in the metaverse. That's so sick.
So
dude,
yeah,
that's very good. That's great.
We have a good time. I mean, a lot of stuff flies. Pretty much our rules are just no hate speech, and then try to respect comics on stage. Like again, I let people run their mouth and do a bunch of stuff. Interact. And it's kind of funny because some people don't like the showcases because there's no crowd interaction in the same way as the open mics. And I was kind of thinking, I was like, I wonder if you could kind of do this in real life too, where it's almost encouraged crowd participation, not just straight like heckling the shit on people.
Yeah.
In a show where it's almost encouraged to talk to the crowd as much as possible, then yell out stuff. And I feel like if I made that show, the audiences would love that. In comics, it'd be two camps. It'd be they hate it completely, or they love it for the ability to just be able to do off the cuff work and crowd work, and then just kind of get like, because you don't really get to do a lot of that too much unless like you reach out to do crowd work, like just as randomly, but being able to just go up there and just kind of, because a lot of my stuff's not material. I'm just up there talking to the audience, and we're going through topics and going back and forth, and I'm just tagging stuff and making it.
You're like hosting a show. You're putting a container together. I guess it's like you're putting a journey together. You're bringing it on one. Yeah, I remember I used to do it. I remember this guy taught me that's how you host. You like open the show as the host is like you're almost giving instruction, like do a joke. And actually, I saw this girl is brilliant. This girl Jackie Perico. She does stand-up comedy in Toronto. Hilarious, and she's doing her opening set at Laugh Sabbath. It's like a huge show in Toronto, and she does her opening set. She explains this is what we're gonna do, and then she's like, "Now I'm gonna do a joke," because that's how this works. A lot of times, you guys, after the show, you'll be like, "Hey, great show," and you were good at hosting too. And it's like, "No, but I did jokes too."
Right.
Him to do a joke, and she told him, and they were, and like, yeah, it's like, it's true, man. People are so dumb; they don't get it.
Right.
Like
it's really fun. It's a challenge for me, just in general, to kind of get up and just kind of go off the fly and just trying to razor sharp that up as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying I feel like my jokes that, I can host better than I can do jokes most of the time. So I just really feel more in my space for some reason when I'm just kind of interacted. And again, it just because like the way all the comedy was set up in the metaverse to start with, it wasn't comedians really running the clubs. Like I know Aaron is like a comic and all that, but he was running his club as the Soap Stuff as a business. He wasn't getting on stage and stuff back then. So he wasn't there to like host or run anything.
Yeah.
And there just isn't a big talent pool of actual comics in the metaverse. So most of the rooms are just people yelling at each other who try to the person on stage. And that just kind of became the norm. And then like I came in as like somebody had some experience as stand-up comic, more just an open micer and stuff like that. And I tried to start structuring like, okay, this is how we're going to run the show and do all that. But at the same time, not just being like, hey, sit down, shut the fuck up. We're doing comedy. You better fucking laugh or leave. Like I tried to make it where like, okay, we'll let you talk a little bit. Eventually, like if you're too much, you're going on the roof. And then that became kind of part of the fun.
It's like a culture. It's like a culture.
You kicked me out because I coughed or something, or I said something. Like you got to be doing the most to get on the roof.
And if the person says sorry. You know,
right.
you don't.
Yeah, I'm not a dick and like just taking pot shots at people as they talk in the crowd. But sometimes I will if we're like doing a showcase, or I can tell like we got a real comic on stage, like for yourself most of the time. I'll put people on the roof pretty quick just so they're not interrupting people that are actually trying to do like a serious part of it. I'm not saying I'm not doing it seriously, but for me, I'm just more fucking around on stage.
I kind of want to go on the roof now. I kind of want to get shot in the club. I last time I was thinking, I was like, that would be nice if I got shot.
Yeah, but, I guess I shot myself the last show.
That's so funny. You shot yourself. Thanks for coming, man. This is great.
Yeah, I appreciate. I know we kind of got off on a tangent with the.
We do have this topic. I don't know if you have time still. We're way over the hour.
Yeah, I got time. I'm just.
Yeah, you want to do a quick topic? Let's do a quick topic because that's what the clips that we put them on.
Yeah. Again, sorry. I kind of feel like I kind of.
No, but that's all good stuff. We're here to have like the most interesting conversation. And I feel like the stuff you're talking about is so cool. I mean, it's like just to recap it. I mean, it was a great. It's a great life, and there's things.
The life I've lived is just
so rock and roll.
I got plenty of stories about it. Not all of them are funny, I guess. But it's just like roller coaster up and down. Like,
I grew up with this guy who was like a pathological liar, and he made up stories. But you know what it is that because you have this mental illness, it's almost like your brain is making you live them. Like he didn't.
Right.
He couldn't do it. He would say he did this thing, and we'd be like, no, you didn't. They were there. They saw it, and it was like this or whatever.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, no, and it was like a real thing. But he had a different one though. His was a legit mental illness too. He had the side of it where he just couldn't stop doing it. He would just keep on making up stories. Always make up. Yeah. No. But no, and I'm not. That's not me doubting you. Like
no. A lot of the stuff, a lot of my story. Like when I first moved back to New Hampshire for my life, because after my last episode, I was like, I gotta go home and like regather because like I'm screwing up stuff too much. I was dating this girl, and I would tell her, stories about my life the last couple of years through the military, getting out, and she was just like, these are unbelievable stories. And I'm like, I'm not lying about them. Like I get pictures for a good amount of them.
Yeah, no.
Like, showing you stuff. Like
I believe you, and this is the power of mental illness. Like we don't recognize how much of a detrimental effect it has on people.
Oh yeah, but you can get to some crazy stuff like on accident. Like when you're just like walking around the street and letting God tell you where to go, you run into some interesting situations and scenarios.
God's putting you on some like crazy actions, dude. Just putting you on like, wow, you're gonna be a rock and roll. You're gonna do weird shit.
Oh geez,
that's what it is almost.
I'd be a pretty good success story. They'd be like, like he was running around naked, stealing Mercedes in Chinatown.
Yeah.
I remember one guy like came out of a shop and he was like, that's indecent exposure. Like, because I'm just completely naked, big white guy just walking down the street, picking over trash cans.
The white privilege that you're expressing on this show is
dude. And again,
can you imagine you were black? You'd be dead.
Oh, absolutely, dude. There's no doubt in my mind. If
that's what they keep. Like people keep saying it's because the cops are racist.
There's just no way, dude. All right, so here's a good. So when they detained me the first time, and I was in the back of the police car, I was spitting on the glass, and the cop is like, "If you spit one more time on my glass, I'm gonna pull you out of this car and I'm gonna beat you with my nightstick." Wow. So I was like, "Let's see what happens," and I did it, and and it was like 3 a.m, so it's like, it's like nobody out, and he gets out. And he pulls me out, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like I thought it was gonna happen.
Wow.
And he threw a spit hood on me because I screamed like a little girl. And I think maybe somebody noticed. He's like, "All right," and he put me back in the cop car. But like I thought he was gonna beat my ass with a knife.
Well, you know what would be appropriate? What I feel like would be appropriate is if he just opens the back door, takes the baton, and goes, "Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Yeah,
Stop
just
it!
starts hitting me in the
You
face.
idiot! Stop it!" I would jab you in the side. I'd say.
There's no way that again, if I was not white, that I mean, he probably would have just pulled me out and did exactly that.
You'd be
whether I
dead.
screamed or not.
You'd be dead. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's there's definitely some stuff I feel like I've gotten away with because so one of my other episodes, another white privilege, I was on a train in LA.
Oh my god.
I went over to a table of 2 people and I told them I'm here to save the train from blowing up. And we're gonna have a bad accident. I like thought I had an omen or something. And then like a lady from like TSA was like, "Did you just say this train was gonna blow up or whatever?" And I was like, "No, I know. They said you said," and I said, "No, they're lying." Like if I looked like you and me, like they're like calling it. I was able to get off the train and everything. Like
your schizophrenia characters.
I even left my wallet there, like on the ground. She's like, "Is this your wallet?" And she's like looking at the ID. And I was like, "No."
You look like you could be from Kyrgyzstan. You got to watch the terrorist jokes on an airplane. You're done, dude.
No.
You look like you're Kyrgyzstan. You look like wherever Habib is from. You know Habib.
I'm trying to make a terrorist joke. I'm just saying if I wasn't white, there would have been an issue, guaranteed.
Guaranteed, yeah.
You know,
airplane, yeah, no.
I mean, just because like the way the country's set up, like it. Again, there's just plenty of times where I'm like, I can't believe that didn't turn into something way uglier, and
it's not
absolutely should have and could have.
I guess they don't know about white people from like white Muslims, like not Muslims, but like that there is like they don't know. They just think like this guy's not going to do anything,
right? And I mean, and again, I said somebody looks like you or whatever, but you already know through living your life.
Yeah, I know, dude. My cousin
not treated exactly the same, and in that situation,
my cousin was crossing the border, and he had a beard. And he's crossing the border, and the American border guard goes, he's like pulls him aside, and he talks to him, and he goes, are you Muslim? And he's like, no. He's like, yeah, shave the beard off, man. You're gonna just get in trouble coming back and forth. Just shave it off. And even in my family, after 9/11 happened, my family, because we're Hindu, right? And we're like, the uncles are so racist, and they go, and they just started going around any of the boys who had like facial hair, they go, just shave it. Look terrorist. It's now look terrorist.
Man. See, that's the thing. Like I went to Iraq and stuff, and people might think like, "Oh, you probably hated those people." Where, like, I looked at it for what it was. Like we were just over there bombing poor people to hate us more. Like I had some good like.
Wow, here we go. Here's the.
Let me tell you what screwed me up. I was talking to this one interpreter who was a good friend of mine, and we were chilling out on the base, and I was talking to him about something. And I just like had a genuine question. I was like, "Hey man, like," because he was old enough where like he was kind of a kid, a little older when like we invaded initially, so he was there for everything. And I asked him, I said, "Hey man, like, was it better before we got here? Like, running stuff?" And he wouldn't answer me. He just kind of kept looking away, like. And what freaked me out about that, or what like made me realize like the problem was like, dude, he thought if he said, because like I knew the answer was yes, it was.
100%. Dude, they destroyed Iraq.
He thought if he said it, I would snap my fingers and make him disappear. It made me so sad. It was like, damn, man, like I don't even want to be here. You know, like
wow.
Like, I feel like we were the invading force and all that. Like we didn't belong.
Yeah, you're a real hippie, eh? You're a real. That's why they told you. They're like
one about Afghanistan why we went there, but Iraq was like why? Besides.
Well, even Afghanistan ended up being a big money pit for them. I mean, it destroyed the Russian Empire too. It
Right.
bankrupted the Russians, and then they turned around and did the exact same thing to the Americans. What are they thinking?
So yeah,
What a waste of time.
you know, for me, it was just like I just want to do my tour and like get out of here and be done with it. But I'm definitely not here to like hurt these people in any way. Like I just, you know, felt, you know, I was a mechanic, man. I mean,
okay.
I'm in the 50 cal running security sometimes because we were running our own gun trucks with a transportation company, but that wasn't my job. Like I didn't go in to be infantry to specifically go over there and mess with those people. So.
That's nice. That's good, man. That's good
so
perspective.
you know, what I say is I judge everybody by character, not by who they look like or what they are. Because, like, you know, let's say some country invades us and they only go to the poorest, worst Mississippi neighborhoods they can find. They're going to be like, wow, Americans are all smoking lots of meth. They're all bad people. But it's not the truth. You know, it's just bad people all over the place. It doesn't matter that want to hurt you, your family, or just other people in general.
Have you thought about like peace activism at all, or like speaking out again, or like do you get in trouble for speaking out against it? Like, are you getting benefits from the army and they see this and they go, hey?
I haven't really, to be honest, I really haven't like done too much. Like, you know, I talk to my friends about it and tell them how I feel, and
but I feel like at your show on stage, you did talk about it.
Like I have no hate for Muslim culture, Arab people, or any of that stuff. Like again, judge everyone in the character of who they are.
Yeah.
Not by how they look.
But I'm talking about
any of that.
It sounds like you're saying that you think the Iraq War was not worth it, or like what do you, or is that what you're saying, or you're saying that you were abusive to the people there, or like what?
I mean, it sucks because it feels. It's not that. I don't know how to think. I don't feel it was worth it for me and a lot of other people.
Yeah. So is it worth it for anyone? Like what? How do you feel about just like?
I think the people that wanted to profit and get what they wanted out of that country got exactly that, and they could care less. But I think it was kind of like a stupid war to go. Like, you know, it was all BS to go to Iraq for sure. Like,
and this is from a veteran. People, I get in trouble saying stuff like this on this.
No, I'm Iraq. Like again, like I just felt like,
no, it's good. It's good that you're from there and you're speaking your experience and you're saying like this is. I tend to agree. It seems to me like the war machine is way too big, and they just find any excuse to go to war.
We do,
and it's weird that Dick Cheney is. What's that?
Well, the waste in the military is crazy. Like
I heard environmentally.
No, they do like, oh, we'll do the lowest bidder. Well, it doesn't mean it's super cheap. It just means it was the cheapest price somebody bid for a job. You know, so you're spending like $20 for like one ball, you know, pen. You know, like a ball.
I heard a can of Coke.
And
a can of Coke was like $10.
Yeah, and they're like doing your like one load of laundry is like $700 over there, and you're like, that looks like the same wash machine I got at the house. Like, what do you like? How's it $700? You ain't using really good soap. There ain't no Tide Pods I see you throwing in there.
But someone does it. Someone does it for you.
Yeah, they have people on base that'll.
But the way that they charge, they pay everyone out. It's $700 for one load of laundry.
Stuff from America that they have them like wash your laundry and stuff.
It's a racket. It's a racket.
Yeah, no, it's a super big racket. Like I got an offer when I got back.
Yeah.
To make $150K a year to go over and be a mechanic, not even carry a gun in Iraq for a year. $150K, $88,000 tax free. 2 weeks vacation a year. You pick when you go, and if you're just tired of it, you can leave, and they'll give you a ticket and send you home.
And you didn't want to do it?
No. I did, but I didn't have my clear paper, my DD-214, in my hand yet. So by the time I got that, because I was on what they call PCS leave, which is like end of your tour, end of your contract vacation. So I got out 3 months technically early. I was on the payroll of the military. I was getting paid and everything, but I wasn't on base. I didn't even live there anymore. I wasn't doing any military stuff. I was once that last date was done, that's when they stopped paying me. And then I got on base and got my paperwork. I was officially out. But
You
by
had a
that
real
time
rock and roll life.
came up, that seat on that plane had filled and they flew off without me. So
Wow.
do like that again.
Or else you would have been back there.
The first time I went over, I was like a PFC. I made like maybe 30K tax free. So nothing.
That's it?
Oh yeah, dude.
How old were you?
It was what's that?
How old were you? And how old were you? And
I turned 21 in Iraq, actually.
How many hours? How many hours for 30,000?
Oh man, I don't.
Was it a year?
It's not even 9 to 5 set up like that.
But it was a year.
I probably worked more than a McDonald's manager or employee.
I mean, you're there, so isn't it like 24/7? You're in military, so it's like
you're there. Like I mean, you have they give you time to sleep and stuff and eat and all that. But I mean, you're on call. Like if they don't, whatever's going on, they need you. You're good. You get up. Let's go. We got to do stuff. There's no clocking in, clocking out, especially when you're in Iraq. Like you might even have like better downtimes or weekends or whatever when you're back in garrison, back on base. In the States, but over there, like call 24/7. They need you. Get up. Let's go. We got to do something. So
wow, of course, that's what you're there to do. So you're saying 30,000 for a year.
The civilians more or less do have a schedule, and they're not having to leave the wire and stuff with guns. The mechanics,
But you got paid $30,000 for when you were 21 to be there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for a whole year, it's about 30K tax free.
That's
at my rank. I was only like 2 ranks up from like bottom of the barrel, so like I was new. Like
I guess it's military's whole attitude is.
I literally, celebrated my first year in the army in Iraq. I was behind a 50 cal. I was like, what is happening right now?
A 50 caliber gun?
Yeah, 50 cal, the big doop doops.
Big doop doop. You hold it, you go doop 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 doop.
The big ones on top of the Humvees and the MRAPs and stuff.
Woo woo!
I was running one of those.
That's sexy. What's it called? Give me the name. Give me the name.
The 50 cal. I'm trying to think.
50 cal Iraq?
Yeah, 50 cal machine gun. I'm trying to think of the technical term for it. It's been a while. I think it's like it's not the M249. That's the saw that runs the 5.56 rounds.
God damn, dude, that is a ripper.
Yeah, this one, the one, right. No, not that. That's the one below, right there. No, over, down, right there. That's what it is.
This guy?
Yeah, that big pig. Yeah, there it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you just get to rip one of these.
Oh yeah, they're fun.
Two-handed.
Make nice. Yeah, they have a trigger on the back called the butterfly. It comes out like this, and you just press on it, and it goes doof, 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 doof. It shakes the whole
that's why it's a butterfly. It's like a double-sided. So it's like
you hold it. And
what the hell, dude?
The whole truck and makes a bunch of noise.
That's a ripper, dude. Oh my god, that's so much fun, brother.
Yeah, I was good at it. Not in the like killing people thing, but I was very proficient. Because they put me on lead gun truck one time when we went out on mission, and usually I'm just in the back of the MRAP with my toolbox, and they like, hey, you want to get on the gun? And I was like, yeah, cool, let's do the army thing, whatever. So I got up and was pulling security a couple times, and usually we go up to the front of the gate. And there's a firing pit, and everyone's going to fire into the pit, lock and load their rounds, and clear their 50 cal before we go outside the gate, and then we can reload while we're going out.
Yeah.
And I was always the fastest one on the gun, and they're like, "Who the fuck is in lead truck?" And it's like Crowley. It's like, how the fucking we've been out here for 6 months already. And Crowley's getting on the 50 cal and just whooping our ass in this because it was a competition between the trucks who could do this the fastest.
Yeah,
be ready to go out the gate. And I always won for some reason. I literally I'm not I wasn't super proficient in the 50 cal. I couldn't even space and time it, which is pretty.
Well, whenever you watch the movies, it's always just like a time, and it's like a bit of dumb luck a little bit.
Right.
It's like right place at the right time. The guy thinks you're cool. A couple of different, and then you just go like, yeah, I'll do it. and you just
just like some random guy, like, you know, gets up there and just murders, and they're like, "Who the fuck?" Like, this guy, he's the wrench guy. He uses tools. What the fuck?
That is like the later stories that would come out later. It's like a little bit of that comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You believe. Maybe they saw the Manic, maybe they saw early Manic, a little early Manic. They're like, this guy will be good on the gun. But did you? Okay, what do you have to shoot at though? Did you shoot people or did you shoot like?
No. So luckily, I never had to fire the 50 cal. In a combat situation,
right?
There was I actually did a joke on this where I almost had to. We had just started a new program called Share the Road when I was on one of the missions. And usually when we drive down the street in the MRAPs, like everybody on each side of the road, highway, wherever we're at, has to get off the road, stop, pull over, like emergency vehicle stuff. Well, this new program allowed people to drive this side of the road as we drove up the other side. So we're in lead truck. I'm pulling scary. I'm on the 50 cal. And this guy, this truck racing up this hill, like we're going up the convoy, because the convoys, we're out front looking for threats. Like we're the scout, we're checking to see the IDs out in front and other ambushes or whatever. So I don't know why I'm in this truck, because even if I was a mechanic only, I should probably be in the back more. So if a truck breaks down, we can drive up and I can take care of it. Not the truck that hits the first IED, maybe. So they come flying up in like classic scenarios. This is like a VBAT, which is vehicle borne IED. And because it's low to the ground and it's coming fast, like that's like standard.
This was shot at you?
No. They're just driving really fast, and we have a big sign on the back in Arabic and English that says "Stay 500 meters out for the back of the truck. Deadly force will be used." So,
wow.
I see this truck coming up. I called into my sergeant front. I think it was Sergeant Thompson. I was like, "Hey man, we got this truck really fast coming up on us. Like, what do you want me to do?" He's like, "Take care of it if you need to." I'm like, "Okay." So it switches.
You're 21 years old. He goes, "Take care of him if you need to." That means just shoot at him.
Pretty much.
Did they train you? Did they say shoot the tire out, let them die, or something? Like nothing. Like
pretty much what I hate to say it like this. I'd say we weren't in that type of situation. I did have full range to. Again, use deadly force. So what you would normally do, because the line of sight, the sight on the gun's not very good, obviously, like it's very steel. It's not like a laser sight or anything like that. So what you usually do is you would shoot, and then as the bullets hit the ground, you would lead those bullets up to your target. So you would adjust fire as you see the bullets impacting. So what I would have done is started shooting in front of the truck and then rolled it all the way up the truck at that point.
Wow! So guaranteed you hit the guy.
You would have given them a chance to slow down and stop, or at least, or if they were going to be aggressive, then.
But you're also lining yourself up so that when you pull the gun out, so that you're shooting at the ground and you're, and then you're supposed to shoot the guy in the head.
Right.
So whoever's driving knows. They go, "Oh shit, okay."
So no. So they get over on the other lane, and now they're going up the wrong way. So this is like, again, more red flags. Like, oh god, now they're going up the wrong way. In a sense, like they're trying to get beside us. So
who are they? Iraqi rebel forces or someone else? Like, who is it?
So I pan my 50 cal, and I'm trying. Like, there's no way they can't see me aiming directly for them.
It's a big gun.
Yeah, and we're the only vehicles on the road, so it's just like they got to be seeing me. And then right as I'm about to start pressing the butterfly down and start lighting up the ground into the truck.
Yeah.
They get close enough and the hill arches up, and I see into the back, and it's 4 Iraqi police and 2 in the front, and they're smiling and laughing, and I'm like, oh my god, like so 2 things could have happened. Like if I had lit that truck up, international incident. That would have been on the news. Like that would have been bad.
Yeah, but why? So the Iraqi police is like taunting you, or they just think it's like a joke? They're like, "Hey, shoot at me. What are you gonna do?"
Still don't know to this day what it was about, because we never stopped. They just passed our truck and just kept going. So I really don't know why they did that. And again, this is 2009 when this happened.
I guess you're occupying their land, so they want to show that, like, oh, you think we're scared of the Americans? Fuck you guys.
I don't know if it was that, but I was just thinking, like, you could read the sign. You've been here since we got here in 2003. Like, you're old enough to have seen, like, you should know better. Especially if because we were training the Iraqi police at that time to do what they did. So I don't really what there is, speculation in my mind. It could have been terrorists dressed up as Iraqi police because they did stuff like that too.
Right.
And maybe they were trying to blow themselves up or something, and something didn't work, and they decided against it. I don't know. But yeah, I have dreams about it, like it happening. And
wow. I guess once you do one terrorist attack, you're like, I don't give a fuck, dude. I'll fucking smash into this guy right now. He's like, yo, you want to shoot him?
It was a weird setup because again, and we were having like the Iraqi police. Again, some of the terrorists would, or just the Iraqi police, not even terrorists would dress up. And they decide to switch sides. They wait till we get to one of their checkpoints and start lighting up one of our trucks or something.
Wow.
So you just, it's kind of like a wolves in sheep's clothing type of style. Like, you never know who's really on our side and who's just infiltrating to get to us in some way.
That's wild, dude. I mean, that's crazy that you.
I did a whole joke about the, this story I told you. I guess I'll put it up on the YouTube of the Raw Dog here in a little bit.
Yeah, but
that was a lot funnier, but that was the seriousness of that situation without the fun to it.
That's wild. So did your commander say, you pussy, let that guy take us over? Shoot him.
No, he was just focused on driving, and then I told him, like, oh, it's just Iraqi police, and he was like, oh, well, never mind then. Forget it. And then, there was just no issue. And again, they were just in a faster truck. I don't know where they were going. Or
maybe they had a mentality of like, they're not going to shoot at us. We're Iraqi police.
Yeah, I would think that, but they, I couldn't see them.
But also, when life is a war zone,
because they got close enough that if it had been a bomb, that would have been bad. That would have been very bad. They were that close. That's and I'm not saying like it was. I just wanted to make sure. I guess I wanted to be 100% sure. I almost wanted to like look him in the eye before something happened. So
before you shoot, before you
I looked at him in the eye and he was bad or something. Like,
yeah, your morality checked in. You're like, before I take life, I have to see.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just
wow.
It was a crazy situation. And again, I think about like, what if I had lit that truck up and killed them all? And then like it was Iraqi police, and then like where like there was, I think some guy accidentally shot somebody's goat one time, and that was a whole big deal. It wasn't like on the news, but it was a big deal for the base, and they had to pay for it. And it was like they had like criminal investigation division come in and do an investigation of it. Like it wasn't good. So like if you were putting rounds out of those guns, you got to have a very, very good excuse, and you better be right.
That's wild, because I remember I saw there's these reports came out that like the Iraqi soldiers in Iraq were just going buck wild, and they were just like shooting at civilians, not killing them, but like shooting over their heads to be like, get out of our way.
I wouldn't put it past some of the crazy stuff they were doing over there.
Yeah.
Again, just because you were an Iraqi police or military doesn't mean you weren't working for the actual enemy.
Yeah.
In the sense of who we were fighting against, and again, it sucks because it never felt, like I know it was just like, we're in their country, like they want us to go home, like they don't want us there. And I was like, why can't we just do a vote on this? Can we just do like a wide Iraq vote? Should we stay? Should we leave?
Yeah.
And if they vote yes or no, then somebody can't be like, oh, you should have stayed, or oh, you left too early, or whatever.
I mean, there's no sense in a vote because yeah, weird. It's weird because it's like you can't. They didn't do a vote to go in. They just kind of forced everyone to go.
Right.
No draft, but they just kind of said, okay, we're going, and that's it.
Well, it's what do I want to call it? What is I want to say it's because it was a military operation.
Yeah.
They didn't declare war, so they were able to do it without like Congress approval and all that.
Oh my God. Yeah. No,
Yeah, so there's little ways they can get around like declaring war and needing to vote on it.
That is wild, man. These are great stories, dude.
Yeah.
Listen, we're way over time. It's like 11:50. I had topics, but listen, we'll do them next. I'll do them next week. The world is so crazy right now.
Again, I'm sorry, man. I
No. The stories are so good. Honestly, I don't want to cut off like this incredible.
Oh no. I mean,
war story, life and death story.
Again, I got
for like some topic. You know what I mean? It's like the topic can be done.
Yeah,
these stories are amazing.
Sean Penn and the Zelensky statuist thing.
No, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out.
That was stupid. I don't know why. He's like, here's my Oscar because you're winning in the country.
Oh yeah.
That was weird. That was very white, pretentious, rich people shit.
Yeah. You know what? Let's watch it then. Since you brought it up, now we're gonna watch it.
Yeah, no, that was
after that. Let's watch it.
Shit.
I know Applejack's gonna like gonna want us to do this topic. I already know. Let's do this actor Sean Penn's. But then we got to do the Russian. We got to do the Russian one then.
Yeah,
let's
sure.
Watch
man.
it. I get in so much trouble for doing anti-war stuff.
That's right, man.
Look at this.
It's not good. I feel like Ukraine is justified in what's going on for their fight, for sure.
What's that?
But it is weird when they do shit like this.
It is. It's just fake. Like, I mean, I did one. I know, like, my graphic designer is same as Steven Coffeezilla's graphic designer.
Right.
He's in Ukraine, and he gets mad at me every time I do this. But I'm like, listen, man, I've come a long way on the Ukraine war. I kind of get it a little more now. I understand it more. Like I started off when it first happened thinking like, this is just for money. Who cares? Whatever. Now I'm a little evolved, but this kind of shit
is
fake
weird.
Is fake.
It's super
fake
weird.
Is fucking fake, whether you support it or not. Like fake is fake.
Yeah, it's super weird that like I don't understand the point of
and this music, dude.
Yeah, the music.
The piano, like, come on.
Let him give a speech.
And, you know his voice is exactly like Kamala Harris. Like you ever notice how Kamala Harris, like, she always sounds like she's gonna cry?
Well, you know, it's funny. It's funny you brought up the money thing, and people are like, "Oh, we're spending all this money, billions of dollars and stuff." I'm like, I don't know if you know how America works, but we don't do anything for free. And we are definitely not giving Ukraine all this money so that way when they win their country back, that we're not going to be like, hey, those natural gas deposits look pretty nice. Remember when we saved your ass? You know, like we're going in there getting back out.
Does America do that though? I thought the way America operates is like the military contract. See, like I thought it was like you're getting $60 billion to spend on our military contractors. So we boost our economy,
right?
We sell our weapons.
It's part, but at the same time,
how are they gonna, like in Iraq? Let's say, right? Are you saying that in Iraq they take the oil? Like I always thought that was like the shortcoming of this whole project.
It's not gonna be like us walking in there and just being like, these are our oil fields now.
Yeah.
But we're gonna want some preferential deals to go with a lot of their natural resources that they have.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like the Saudi
back out because they have to spend that money technically on American equipment, but it's just like, well, we gave you the opportunity to get the right tools and equipment to win your wars. So now that we did that, hook us up.
You owe us some oil hook. Yeah, I guess it is more subtle now. It's not like the British did it where they're like,
not only that, but here's the thing: if Ukraine wins this back and they decide to make Ukraine part of NATO, we'll put a base in there, and then we'll have a base right on Russia's border.
Yeah,
which is part of the problem with how Russia started the war because they were worried about that. But
yeah. But do you think at this point? See, like I feel like I have evolved in this where I'm like maybe Russia should be broken apart. Applejack's gonna be pissed, but like I don't know. I mean, do you ever feel like that? Because he is a dictator, and I was listening to even Thich Nhat Hanh, who's a peace activist, and he's saying that like the thing that you have to do to like the best way to bring peace is like or the most compassionate thing you can do for someone like that is to take their power away because they're not like the attack is still too much for him to do. Do you think so? Or do you think like makes sense to me, NATO expansion? So he's going to go back.
I mean, I don't know. It was funny. My grandmother lives in Germany. I'm originally from Germany. I'm an immigrant myself. Came here when I was 4, American citizen. I feel like my tour in Iraq was like me paying for that citizenship in America, right? Because when I came here, I don't know, it was quickly done. I was able to get my paperwork very fast.
Because you signed up right away for Iraq War?
No,
No,
I came here from Germany when I was 4. But I'm saying like my paperwork process pretty quick.
Yeah.
I can't, compared to what people have to go through today to become American citizens.
Well, coming from Germany, though,
if I went into one of those Americanized tests and tried to, I wouldn't even pass it. So
I know, but Germany, I feel like Europe has a special access, hard for like Yemenis, Indian, African,
right.
Like they can't come over.
Yeah,
Germany,
as Trump said on,
you would have done an extra.
And I'm technically from Germany, which is not on that list.
Yeah.
So I'm sure. And it was the 90s. So like
they would have made you do like an extra test or something. Not even a test. They would have made you wait an extra 2-3 months.
Dude, I didn't even speak English when I came here at all. So there's no way I could have taken, and I was 4.
That's more of your white privilege. Anyway.
Again, yes. That European white privilege. It's even more special.
Yeah. No, they have a relationship with the Germans. The Germans gave in after World War II, and they're like, "We'll be your bitch."
Yeah, pretty much.
We were wrong. We'll be your bitch. So America gives back for that. America says, "Okay, we have our military base there. You can come over. No big deal."
Yeah, I feel like my service, I in a sense paid for my my citizenship. Here's a crazy part about the military. A lot of people don't know is. We recruit a lot from other countries, and we don't make those people citizens. I had a lot of people I ran into in the military that were completely from other countries, very small amount of English spoken or just enough to get by.
Yeah.
And they didn't have citizenship. And I guess that's fine. They had to go through the normal channels to get it. But I thought what was super weird, you can look this up on Google because they were doing this.
What is this?
You would go to, I had a sergeant who'd been to Iraq multiple times. He was from Mexico.
Yeah.
Came here when he was a kid, but didn't have a citizenship. So he went in the military, blah, blah, blah. He still didn't have citizenship. And it blew me away because I'm like, dude, you'd think you went to war for a country. They'd be like, thank you for your service. You are now an American citizen.
Yeah.
But no, that's not. And I always thought that was so fucked up. And there was stories a couple of years ago where they were kicking veterans, war vets, very decorated war vets back to Mexico, Guatemala, and other countries, like kicking them out.
Wow.
Like, fuck you and your service. Thanks. Get out. And I thought that was awful. I was just like, dude, like,
wait, so they
served war for a country.
Yeah.
And not get citizenship as like a token of appreciation.
Wait. This is a real story? Ex-war vet?
This is, dude, you like Google it. There was soldiers being kicked out back into Mexico after being here their whole life and doing service and tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. It was crazy. I was like, why? What the like, what is happening? So I thought that was super weird. And I figured at least during wartime they could activate it like, hey, you did your service. You obviously got a bunch of medals. Like, you're a citizen. Thank you. But nope, that does not. It's not automatic.
Wow.
So
that's wild, man. Hold on. Let's do this.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Again, I keep.
No, I do this too, man. I do. Honestly, it's a big problem with comics. I do it all. I do it a lot too, though. I just.
This is so weird.
Hi, Sean. I like the hi, Sean, dude. He flexes like.
Yeah, look at him.
He's so all the time. He's ready to go to war. This Sean Penn.
Oh my god. You took that shot like a man. Here's your Oscar.
That's wild.
This is for you. Oh, Sean. Yes.
Oh, Sean. Look at they have the chocolates out.
This is so pretentious Hollywood bullshit. Like, I hate it, dude. It's so bad.
But I like how they have all these, like, they have the pencils, they have the water bottles. It's like Sean's coming. Sean Penn's coming.
Yeah, right.
So in case he wants to take some notes, and if he wants a chocolate or a little.
I like the guy in the back. Look at the dude in the back just smirking away. Like, yeah.
What's this guy doing? Is that Sean Penn's friend?
I don't know who that is.
No, I feel terrible outside. It's just a symbolic, silly thing. Yes, but if I know this is here with you,
Even Zelensky's like, yeah, Sean, I don't think it's. But I guess they have to make a scene out of it. So Sean Penn is like, you say no at first, and then I'll be like, no, but I need you to have it because it'll be special to me if you have it.
I don't know if this is fucked up for me, but I'm just like, this is not how I want to go. But like, could you imagine Ukraine gets demolished somehow? Russia, China come in, and there's just like a picture that starts circulating, and it's Zelensky like, dead, and he's got that Oscar stuck all the way up his ass, and it's just like back to Sean Penn and like on the meme or something, like, oh no, he didn't keep it safe. Like, oh jeez.
It just becomes his favorite thing. Oh my god.
Man. Just
Poor
like
guy.
things like that, like, I mean, that would be a pretty embarrassing way to be killed in your country.
I mean, up the ass is a lot. I thought you were just gonna say it's in the room with him. He's already sleeping with
the
him.
Russians, they're pretty.
Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying now. I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, that would be actually.
No, I wasn't saying like him enjoying it. No.
Now I get it. It's like the Russians come in and then they just take it and shove it in his ass. Oh my god, that would be so sad, dude.
Yeah,
no, let's not hope that. We don't want that to happen.
Again, this is my dark military humor. Like, I don't want that to actually happen. But that's just
so dark.
You're
a comic.
Better and stronger.
You did time in the military.
For the fight.
Oh, yeah.
So great to honor, but until we will.
When you win, bring it back to Malibu.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Because I'll feel much better knowing there's a piece of me here.
We have to.
I've held an Oscar before.
They're gonna win. They have to win. They have to win. What do you think? What do you militarily? What do you think? They're gonna win, right? Like the Americans are backing them.
So again, I was talking to again before I went on my rant about Germany and all that other stuff. My grandmother lives in Germany, and I call her usually once a week to talk to her.
Yeah.
And we were talking last Saturday, and she was like, "You think the reason why China and Russia are such good buddies is because China can access Russia from the back?"
Yeah.
And I was just like, how crazy would it be if Russia starts to lose in Ukraine and China decides to flip on them, come in through the back, take their whole country over, and then we would get involved in Ukraine just to get rid of the rest of Russia more directly. And then, because like, we're not going to go save Russia from China. Like, no way, nobody is. So it would be the perfect fuck you for China to invade Russia through the back end as they lose the war in Ukraine and they're hurt.
Yeah, that would be rough. That would be rough.
And I was like, wow, Graham, like I didn't even think of that. That would be like the craziest fucking Uno reverse I've ever seen. So I don't know.
I can't see Russia. I mean, I don't think Russia has enough allies. Like they are making moves in the world. Like they're trying to play big. Like it's a multipolar world and they're an equal. But neither China nor Russia economically is still even close to America. Well, and China's really tied to America.
How powerful Russia's military actually was compared to what we thought it was. And I think it kind of surprised us as the world of like how badly logistically, like just the logistics. That's the one thing.
Yeah, it's really bad, dude. The Russian army is garbage.
The one thing America's army has down is we're very good at logistics and supply lines and all that.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about conspiracies? How about this one for you? What if the reason we've been at war for the last 20 years is so by the time we go to World War III, we are the most combat ready, proficient military force on the planet.
Yeah,
we've been doing it for 20 years. We've been putting all our equipment through the paces of an actual combat.
Well, that's what Jocko says too. He says like you have to go and start wars or start fights with people because you got to engage the enemy because that's how you keep your guys tight. So it's almost part of the military. You can
see Russia. When was the last time? I mean, besides probably the 90s when they went to Afghanistan, they haven't done anything.
I heard they just fake their proficiencies too. Like I've heard that their ships, it'll be like, yes, look at our big ship, it works. But then
they Crimea, but not when it came to real full invasion, they just
Well, Crimea, they just walked in. But like I've heard that Russia's actually really good at putting on a show like they have good. It's like in World War II, they would fly these airplanes over to see what you had. And before you flew them over, people would make fake tanks. So they would have like 10 tanks, but they would make.
Yes, it's all propaganda. They've done a great
propaganda.
job of making their military look amazing, and I'm sure there's very small sects and parts of it, special force and stuff, that are amazing.
Yeah.
But as a whole fighting force, it's not there. Where America's army.
No, America's gonna
really
America could smoke them, but here's the problem. It's like you were talking about logistics before, right? And there's a great military quote that says, amateurs think about tactics and professionals think about logistics.
For sure.
So logistics is everything. And one of the biggest, like hugest logistical disadvantages is taking over another country. Like, I mean, going all the way over to fight. I've heard, and military generals also say, a ship's a fool to fight a fort, because you're going all the way over there. Like logistically, it's a nightmare.
Right.
You're going all the way over there.
That's why Iraq and Afghanistan were kind of a shit show, because we were.
Wouldn't Russia be a shit show?
We were fighting on their home turf. Like, they're gonna do well no matter what.
Yeah.
They know everything about around them, and we're learning as we go.
And this is why fighting doesn't pay. Like, honestly, it's not easy, like people think, to just go and attack another country and just take it over. Like, it almost never works. And if it doesn't work in Afghanistan, how could it possibly work over here? That's ridiculous.
The way they were thinking about walking in there and just taking down Ukraine was kind of crazy, because, everyone thinks that we went into Iraq and just decimated. Like, we did, but it still took a month before Bush was on that aircraft carrier saying we did it.
Really?
It took us a month to get in there and like dig in. Even with most of the Iraqis putting down their arms. And
what do you mean a month? Wait, what took a month?
The initial invasion of Iraq took about a month before it was completely ours. That we had secured the entire country.
1 month.
At that time.
That's pretty good. But then when was the mission?
That is good, but like, thinking Russia thought they were going to do it in days.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't really like, Ukraine's not the type of fighters we faced in Iraq and Afghanistan. Like, I don't know if you've watched like some of the TikToks and videos coming at it. Like, that's real. Like, we were fighting insurgents. We weren't fighting actual armies.
Right. And Ukraine is the actual army. You're saying
Ukraine had an actual army, so it was like tanks against tanks, fighter jets, helicopters, artillery,
and they're getting the American weapons.
Right, plus the American, even what they just had to start with is more than the Iraqis had by the time we had taken over. Same with Afghanistan.
Right.
Iraq had fighter jets and tanks and stuff. They just, they didn't have the balls to stay in them. It's kind of like what happened to Afghanistan. Once we left, they're just like, do what you want. We don't even want to fight. And then Al-Qaeda took over. So that was part of the problem with those military units that we set up over there, trained with special forces and all that other stuff, is they didn't have the heart to actually fight for their own country. They would just rather give it up. But like Ukraine is not trying to do any of that.
Yeah,
they were very fierce in their resistance and willingness to fight. So that helped in a lot of ways, like just having the morale of we're going to win.
But you thought Russia was going to walk in there the way you guys went to Iraq, is what you're saying? Like, you thought they thought
no.
They reported that. They said in a week we'll have it.
Was thinking he was going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And again, like, I'm not going to sit here and just be like, oh, America's got the greatest army, but we definitely put the most money into it.
No, America has the greatest army. You got to say it.
Right.
It is what it is. Like,
if we want to go in and do something, we're going to go in and do it.
The money spent.
If it took us a month to take over, as Trump would call it, a shithole country, then there's just no way Russia was going to walk into. Again, it's not like Ukraine wasn't a developing or third world country, a developing nation, I guess is what would be PC now.
Yeah.
They were a modern European nation. So,
they just had all the tanks and shit too. They have NATO basically backing them, I think.
Right.
Like,
too.
Or the Americans, they have that.
Like,
and they're organized.
In Iraq, like, a lot of the police and military were either running our equipment that we gave them, or they were running trucks, like pickup trucks.
Wow.
and you had us come in with all our advanced technology, and it still took a month to take that country.
Yeah, month is like traveling across takes a month.
Walk into Ukraine and take it over in 3 days. That was
not in 3 days. No way.
I mean, they
It's
used
not.
a lot of missiles and stuff.
No, but Iraq sounds like it was like it just sounds like just ready to like a month just sounds like the logistics of getting across the country. Like a month, you need a month to just drive there, like to just drive across. You got to stop and do something. Like you got to stop and do some paperwork. It's literally Iraq was just like a paperwork takeover. They got to take over. They go, okay, do the paperwork. Okay, you surrender. Okay, we'll take over this. Give you this. Okay, you surrender.
That still took us a month, giving our military might and prowess. And then Russia versus Ukraine, which again had a modern army and stayed and fought instead of just giving up their equipment, vehicles, and themselves, like the Iraqis and the Afghanis did. There's just
I mean, if you don't have the funding, how are you going to fight?
Well, that's
not to downplay it.
Once we were, giving them the funding, but again, I'll give Zelensky the respect he deserves.
They're putting.
He could have, he had the option to get on a plane, and get the fuck out. And he said, "Nope, I'm going to stay here and be with my people." So I'll give him respect for that.
That's good. That's a good call. There you go.
The easy way out and just roll because he was the president and he had the option to get the fuck out.
Yeah, because the guy from Afghanistan could have done that, and then that leadership.
Yeah, he rolled the fuck out immediately. He was like,
"He got out."
Yeah, he did. He was like, "I'm not staying here with these crazy fucks. Put me somewhere else, man."
They're so crazy, man. Afghanistan's so fucked. It's so sad. Actually, okay, let's watch the Russian ad now. Let's watch the Russian ad, and then I got to call it, man.
Right.
But great talking to you, dude. Your stories are amazing. I mean, there's so many stories. I mean, there is the breaking news.
I'm glad I wasn't a boring guest.
No, dude. So good. Let's do the Russian. Oh man, I don't know why I thought I had it. Russian. What is it called? What's it called? The tourism ad.
Oh yeah, the Russian tourism. Yeah, that's what the. I think they're looking for new conscripts. They can get people in country and they can use them. Once they
that's got to be it.
Like, get here before winter because that's when we're locking the country down. And you got
don't delay. Winter is coming. Winter is coming. They're using like American lines
nuclear
too.
Winter.
It's Russia. Delicious cuisine. Beautiful women.
Why they just show that's so weird to me. I thought that too. Why
the timing, Russia? But then also, I'll tell you why they can get away with this.
Women, cheap gas, rich history, world famous literature, unique architecture, fertile soil, cheap electricity and water, ballet.
Wow.
Cheap taxi and delivery. Traditional values. Christianity. No cancel culture.
The no cancel culture.
they have the fucking.
That's why they can get away with this. Beautiful
women.
Yeah,
why are they putting beautiful women here?
Including, what do they call them? Is it minor attracted? I think is what the PC word is for pedophiles now.
Yeah, they're kind of. Well, I mean, is that just like a Russian like beautiful woman? Yes, from young age we.
I have no idea. But I don't know. I feel like I don't know.
Dude, but the no cancel culture.
I don't know. 15's maybe the age.
15's the age, eh? It's like I guess the age is like young broke guys who like, what are you gonna do over there in Europe? Like, it's gonna go to shit. I got beautiful women. There's no cancel culture. Right. It's like cheap everything, cheap like delivery, cheap taxi, cheap whatever. Right. I guess it is cool that they include the ballet and the rich history and stuff like that. But it's it's wild. Sorry, it's wild how they're just putting no cancel culture in there. And that's the final selling point.
Yeah, right. No cancel culture.
And it's not even a joke. Like, they're not even joking.
Oh, no. They're just like, say whatever you want. The N-word still flies over here for us, guys.
No cancel culture. No.
Jesus, yeah, right.
Beautiful women, virgins.
You can have as many sex slaves as you want.
But yeah, no, they're probably going to ship you to war, man. I actually heard a story where they were sending a recruiter to small towns, and this guy just shot the recruiter. Like in a small town, he's like, I'm not fucking going.
Oh yeah, they're not. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, Russia's crazy. So
yeah, Russia's wild, man. Russia's always been like a rock and roll. They've always been like a wild country. Like they're wild, and they think they're number one.
I heard somebody saying the reason why they're like so crazy and like aggressive, rough, and like strong type of like persons.
Yeah,
is because they have nothing to do, and they just do extreme things to, use up their time.
Well, I also heard like because of such poverty and such suffering.
That too, because
that they just kind of go
they don't have anything else to do, so they're just doing extreme things a lot.
You know what Wim Hof says? He says Wim Hof, he's like this famous like ice therapy, like he does cold dips. Because he does cold dips and he recommends it for men because he's like it'll give you a power, it'll give you like strength as a man.
It gives you like a wake up or whatever, like
a nervous system wake up and stuff like that.
I've seen some studies where they suggest like even like super cold showers.
I do that.
Bounces your
dude. I went to this spot.
I think like your happy chemical like really races up for the rest of the day.
Yeah, dude.
Super cold.
I went to this
sometimes, but I
went to a Scandinavian spa last week, and they had a cold dip. And the cold dip, I went in. People were impressed. It was no talking, and you just go. It's an outdoor hot tubs, cold plunge pools, and then they had like a sauna. It was amazing. But I just kept going back and forth.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
In the cold dip, nobody could do it. People were like, oh, so much. I went in, I steadied, I went all the way under, and then I even put neck under, and I spread the fingers even. Because it was like in between the fingers, it's getting
meditation
warm.
Techniques, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I was using a meditation. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I'm sure that being in that zone makes it a lot easier to block out the panic of your brain when you're doing that.
Yeah. It's like a Navy SEALs training too, I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it works. Like you don't get people dipping themselves in ice baths that are top athletes all over the world because it doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah, it's good for inflammation or something, but but he says make winter your summer. It's also just a matter of like training yourself to suffer. You're like winter is
right. You're just you're pretty much that's part of a lot of the military stuff is you suffer so much, so when you're done with your training and you go to war, you can keep your headspace together enough to go through the crap and do have the ability to just be like, yeah, I know, I don't know, example, like I know that truck just got blown up, or we had a bad day, maybe we lost a guy or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you're going back into base, like, if you're not trained to like, I don't want to say cope with it, but like compartmentalize it, you'll never leave out the gate again because you just like, you give it up.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, that was so bad, like I can't go do it again. But the training is all built to harden you enough to like take on.
So it sounds like you're saying that's like a good thing.
Hard pains and keep going.
But you're saying that's a good thing with military training. You're saying.
Yeah, I with everything because my life's been pretty rough, not very easy throughout most of it. But the one thing is, I can go, well, I can get up tomorrow. It's probably going to suck. Life's completely different now. If some type of event happens during the day.
Yeah.
But like the one thing that's constant, as long as I open my eyes, we keep moving forward through it. So,
powerful teachings. Yo, thanks for coming, man. That's great. That's a good thing to end on.
I appreciate it, Amish.
That's a powerful teaching. Thank you,
on, man.
Buddy, thanks for all the work you do.
Oh yeah, man. I'm about the comics with the comedy club stuff. Like that's my big thing is that's why I started paying people right off the bat, whether it was the open mic competitions or people building club or doing the scripting or the comics, getting on stage for the showcases. Like I don't want, like, if one day this becomes like a big thing for whatever reason, I don't want somebody to go back like, oh, I remember when I started back with you way back then, and now you owe me something, or that's something. Like, no, I right out the gate, like, I'm paying people and paying them worth. Like, I'm all about the comics, man. Like, that's
amazing.
Because I know what it's like, especially starting out when nobody wants to book you, nobody wants to pay you, nobody wants to put you on their show. Yeah, nobody cares. Like, and if you're, when I was starting out, I didn't have any money. I was poor. To the point where, I couldn't even most of the time buy a drink if I was out at an open mic. Like, luckily, a lot of them didn't require me to, New York and LA, some of the bigger cities. So,
dude, they make you pay in
even if somebody gave me like $20 to get on stage for 10 minutes, that was like a big deal to me. I was like, whoa, I'm getting paid for comedy. This is so cool.
Yeah.
So for me, like, I always just think about those people, the ones starting out, or the ones that nobody gave a chance to, or maybe their stuff was, I don't know, wasn't faux pas with the scene, or, I just want people to be able to express themselves freely on my stage without it being hate speech, of course.
Wow.
But
Raw Dog Comedy Club. Wow.
I just, for me, it's just doing, giving people the right chances and right opportunities and helping them along the way. Because, $20 may not mean anything to, some big headliner or something like that. But like somebody start now or has been in it for a little while, you give them $20 to get on stage, do some time. Whether, especially, what other open mic are you going to and you could win money that the crowd.
Dude, I can't believe my first time I won $100.
Yeah, like nobody who's doing that,
That's amazing.
And not only that, but like, I want people to donate money if they can, but
come in here, people. We can hang out.
The pots or anything, and it, the amount of money I've spent in hasn't even come close to what I've gotten back out of it, in the sense of, like, again, this is coming out of my pockets, my VA disability check.
Yeah.
The rest of it goes to bills and family, but something, if nobody donates, or usually I get donations on open mics. I've never gotten any on the showcase nights, but those are usually my more expensive nights because I'm paying out 3 people. I'm not saying it's a lot of money because it's not, but it's not like I'm selling tickets or making any money besides if somebody feels the need to donate.
Yeah.
So, and again, like, for the most part, I think, I don't know if Rodney from Unknown is paying. I think Simon Says sometimes pays their comics, but for the most part, like, nobody's getting paid in the Metaverse to do comedy.
Yeah.
But
you're paying, dude.
But I would rather, people know that. Again, I want to bring comics into this space. The biggest problem we have now is not the audience. It's weird because in real life, like, getting an audience to an open mic is like, yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
It's usually just comics coming in for their time.
Yeah. Now the hard thing is
the opposite problem. We have more audience than we have people to get on stage to entertain them.
That's wild, dude. And I can't believe I won, dude. That's amazing. I remember, and it's not even just people willing to get on stage, but when you break it down to like actual stand-up comics from the real world, like yourself, it's even smaller pool. So it's crazy because, like, I tell some of my friends, like, if you guys got into this space and utilized it well enough, you would be fucking dominating this shit, because the talent, just the pool is not diluted enough with stand-up comics from the real world where it's like super, super competitive. Yeah, I got to come back and I got to do more shows this week. But listen, I do more shows this week. That's true. What was I going to say? What other shows? I got to message you and I got to figure out what other shows to do.
Oh, yeah.
But people come inside the Metaverse. It's a lot of fun. I have a meditation show in there at the Unknown Theater, and it's on Sundays. And it's been buggy this week. You think they'll fix it? What's going on?
Yeah, right now, just because Thanksgiving's coming up, and I figured since it was so buggy, like, it's not that it wasn't enjoyable, but it got hard to really kind of keep chaos from being such a problem. Like, luckily we're not doing any showcases or anything. It was just kind of an open mic, but even then it was almost too much. So I decided to just not have any shows. Usually it's Fridays and Saturdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
Every week's our open mic. Usually Saturdays I host, and then I have my friend Corey do Fridays. Who I brought into all this.
Corey's killing it too. He's hilarious.
Yeah, Corey does a great job.
The songs and everything is so professional, so good.
Oh yeah, I know he's probably better at the comedy than I am.
Yeah.
No,
man, you guys
that's the
both
reason I
got
brought him in, because I needed a strong host to be able to take over if I could be there.
He's so funny, guys. You guys got to come to Unknown Theater and
he
also Raw
goes
Dog.
there a good amount. The problem I have is I'm a stay-at-home dad because the wife works. I'm not allowed to work on the disability rating I have right now.
Yeah.
It's unemployable. So pretty much military doctor said, yeah, you're too crazy. You just stay at home. Here's a check. So I just stay at home with my kid, and I try to do, like, I'm not just like when she comes home from work, I'm not like, here's the baby and I'm going to do whatever. So I don't have as much time to spend in the metaverse as I was to start with. I can usually get Saturdays without any distractions. Obviously I told her we were doing this, and she's got the baby in there and everything. But I just don't like to just like hand him off and I can't just go. Like, I don't like doing that. It just
That's great. You're a good dad. You're a good dad.
So, yeah. So, I get to sit at home and kind of do that. But again, because I can't technically work, I can't make extra money either. So I'm always working with like more or less the same budget every month, which I wish was more, because I'd like to be bringing in some of the heavier hitters that I know. But to sit there and be like, hey, look, I'll give you, $30 to headline my show for 20 minutes on a weekend. They're like, yeah, dude, I make like $1,500 this weekend just working a regular club. Like, you know what I mean? So it's hard to like bring them in, but
you can get them on off days, maybe.
What's that?
Off days, you can get them.
I switched the open mics to, we had one going once a week on Wednesdays.
Yeah. Okay.
And the comics I knew, there was even a comic I helped get a headset and everything. They still weren't coming in to even do the open mics. And I figured that would be, it's Wednesday, it's middle of the week or something. And they just
still a great show, man.
Fridays and Saturdays, because the audience would show up more consistently on those days.
Amazing. It's still a great show. People are coming. I mean, like I said, it's wild. It's a wild, rowdy party in there. I recommend everyone come check it out.
Oh, yeah, it's a good time.
He's there. I'm at the Unknown Theater. They're both theaters inside of Metaverse Horizons. So come check it out. Thanks for watching, everyone.
I recommend all of the comedy worlds except for the Soapstone.
Except for Soapstone. You used to work at Soapstone.
And it's nothing particularly against the place. It just recently more became a comedy club. For the longest time, I swear it was more or less a social club that some people would get on stage and try to do comedy on. But it wasn't really run like a comedy club. It was more like a hangout meetup for everybody.
Yeah. I've been in there too. It's weird.
Yeah, it's too Christian PG. I can't be the expressive I want to be.
Oh, the Soapstone is the Christian one. They got connected to comedy.
They look like the mega church. That's how it's built now.
Wow.
And the thing was, like, that dude makes,
and it's called Soapstone. It sounds like Christian.
Yeah,
it sounds like
that guy makes like good money through that place. And he wasn't like paying his people that were producing or were running the shows. Like, I never asked for money. Like, I wasn't in enough to be needing to do that. But I noticed, I talked to the producers, like a lot of the people running stuff, like they were just, were volunteering, and I'm just thinking, like, this dude's making money off this place. Like, nobody's like, hey, shouldn't we get something for all the time we're spending here and bringing people in for you and all? So, like, that was part of my counterculture to that when I built the Raw Dog. So it's like, I'm going to pay people to do stuff.
That's so funny.
After that. Like, I don't
even
care.
in the Metaverse, the comedy.
I'm not making any money. Like, I'm not making money from people coming in, and nobody's buying anything. And
no, you invested money. You built a club. People come in.
Right. It's more for the like the passion of comedy and running the shows for me.
Wow, that's wild, dude.
But the more money it makes, the more I'll pay out.
There you go.
So
keep supporting comedy, Raw Dog Comedy Theater in the Metaverse Horizons. And like I said, I'm doing a meditation show it was a comedy show, but I do shows all the time in the Metaverse. Come check it out. It's a good time. And thanks for watching, everyone. You are loved.
Sure. I appreciate you having me on, Amish. Thank you so much.
Thanks, buddy. Just a shout out real quick. CV Applejack, of course, Cody, Louis Cassell, Perforated Paper Boy, Applejack giving donos. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. Mr. Baba, Brian, Cameron Epsy. Awesome.
Yeah, I was looking at the chat as it came in, but I was letting you answer.
All good, man. All good, dude. Jacoby Napier, what's up? Damn, what a hack that came in. What a weirdo.
Yeah. I appreciate everybody for coming in. Again, hopefully it was a good guest. And
Hype Addicts, Urane. Yeah, thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, dude, the people I mean, those are good stories, dude. I mean, the stories are wild and it's so interesting. And I always want to hear from people who have been
funny,
Thanks,
I
buddy.
Tell you when I met George Bush in the military.
Oh my God. You gotta say it next time. We'll come. We gotta do this again.
Oh, yeah. I got some funny stuff.
Sick, dude. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for coming. Peace.
All right, bud.